Not a lot of TJ players, right? All right, 30 seconds. With the flight over drone and connect. Ah, that stuff. Yeah. A teaser. Oh man, I'm gonna shit myself. It's like if they're gonna show a teaser for like a future KI. I don't know. But maybe we're asking for too much, right? I mean, the fact that we're getting this is already amazing. Anything else is extra today. It's the hidden track on the soundtrack. Oh, it's like the Nirvana album. Like at the end, you get like 20 minutes later, you get like an extra song. Cool stuff. Buff Kim. Oh, it's gonna start. Battle Royale. Yo, it's Keats! And it's D James.
Welcome, everybody. I'm
Keats
James
with a
Gunn,
beard?
head
Come
of
on,
selection
Buff
over here at
Keats.
Xbox, and I'd
Buff
like to
Keats.
introduce you to
He worked so
Adam
hard.
Wolf,
He wasn't able to
our
go
lead content
go
designer
out.
from
He had to
Iron
work,
Galaxy.
you know, like 20
Hi,
hours a
everybody.
day.
Thanks for coming to the show. We've been hyping it all
time
week.
to
I'm
shave.
really excited to finally get to show you guys all the balance changes we've been cooking up. And I want to remind you all that restreaming and reacting to today's stream is absolutely encouraged.
That's a great song.
And if you make one of those streams, please turn the face cam on. We love to see your emotions. And send us a link afterwards, and I'm sure a lot of people on the team will check those out.
Oh my god!
So
He's asking
today
for
is the
videos?
10th anniversary of the release of Killer Instinct.
Happy
back in
birthday.
2013 with the launch of Xbox One. We want to take a moment to thank all the developers who made the original version possible.
Trill
Double
House,
Helix,
let's
all the
go!
people at Xbox, of course,
Thank you.
Iron Galaxy, all the developers who spent time after that. There's been a ton of people in the
Better get your
background
reactions
in
ready.
different departments, and also you guys, all the streamers, all the influencers, all the
Shadow
players,
Dastro
all the
and
tournament
Clips.
organizers. You guys are the reason why we're here.
I mean, this game was a major milestone for me in a lot of ways in my life.
Can
Like,
James
I
just,
remember
you know,
that
start
first time
jamming on his drum behind
free
it?
demoing Dive Kick, and the Double Helix guys were there demoing KI 2013 for the very first time. And me and Maximilian got to go get a little bit of private time on the build, just me and him for
Man,
an
some
hour or
history
so.
lessons
Had to
here
play it.
on
We were
on
pretty
KI.
busy.
That's cool.
I swear that game changed both of us. Just everything about it, the way it just felt like so, you know, responsive and crisp in a way that a lot of the games coming out at the time didn't. The combo breaker system, instead of feeling like dumb or tacked on, felt like just this really revolutionary core part of the game that added a gambling aspect that was just way too addictive.
Yo,
Been
gambling?
chasing that high ever since, and obviously getting
No wonder I love KI.
a year or so later a chance to actually work on the game was, you know, obviously a huge milestone in my life. So very, very excited to get to revisit this with you, James.
I have the same mic
Yeah,
as
me too.
Keats.
I
I just realized.
KI goes so far back, you know, for me. I mean, when I first heard rumors we might do KI inside of Microsoft, I had just joined. And I just joined to work on Rise of
2012
Rome,
that
and
was.
I was figuring, well,
History lesson.
they asked me to interview it. Would it be KI or Rise of Rome? And it was Rise of Rome. And then someone came by and said, do you know the people over at Double Helix? I'm like, actually, I do.
Most of them.
We work together.
Yeah.
They have a
Back on
band
whole
together.
bunch of stuff.
Maybe they're going to
And
jam at the
so,
end of the
you
stream,
know,
right?
When they started working on it, it was just awesome. And, you know, over time, I just got to, you know, jam with them. And then this happened, and we got to work together. And, I mean, geez, 10 years later, look at us. Look at the long road we've been on.
I know.
And,
It's been such a
there's
Look
been
at us!
so many things that we've done. That
We've
is
become a
wild,
little bit older,
and
right?
it's crazy,
10 years down the
but, you know,
line,
That's why we're here.
but we're still loving the game.
So I
We're
think
still supporting
other than
it,
balance
so-
today, we are gonna get a small glimpse at some of the new UI updates. Is that true, James?
What? New UI? Are you kidding me?
We are. And,
They're pink now. It's pink
take
and
a look at
gold.
This thing right here.
Wow. Can we have this
Our
skin
new
for
color
Orchid,
scheme
please?
For
It's
this
like
version
a
of the
Christmas
You know,
upgrade.
every
Hey,
major
gotta love the gold.
season Or, you know, we always
They have
changed the
budget
color
to
scheme,
change
and
the
this one,
UI? Are you
we
kidding
wanted to
me?
give a nod back to KI Gold.
Okay.
It's not
So
exactly
they're not
the
doing
band, but it's
only,
definitely
you know,
inspired
like
by.
balance
So
updates.
this
They
is
had money to
goal.
revamp and
Yeah,
do
if
it
you
like
bring
a
the
new
camera back to me, I
color.
actually had this in my living room.
I still
My
not
own
aged.
cartridge
Hey, KI
of
Gold.
so you can see how well the colors match up, kind of.
We're triple A now. We're
So,
triple A now.
There is a purple and gold in there somewhere.
LA Lakers.
Exactly.
Purple and gold. Kim Woo
That's
outfit.
pretty awesome. All right, so
I wasn't expecting UI
before
changes
we get
either.
started going any farther with this stream, I want to introduce today's very
Now the
special
layout
guest.
makes
He's
sense,
sitting
right?
beside me
It's
and
also
Isaac
purple
with
and
the
gold.
Live Season 3 rebounds reveals at KI Cup. And he is one of the most insightful and strong people in the fighting game community. He's really good at kind of seeing the big picture and breaking it down.
Wait, they're talking
in a
to
way
me?
that a lot
They're
of
talking
others
about me?
aren't. So, you know, one of my favorite people to talk to about fighting games. So happy he was able to join us today. Stay Jam, welcome.
Oh, Fuck.
What's up? Howdy gamers, how goes it? How's everybody doing?
Sajam,
Everybody's
Mr.
chilling.
Sandwich.
Everything's so purple and gold and pretty, I gotta say.
I wonder, like, how the length of
Take
his
a
sandwich
little
is
look
doing.
at it in the game, and boy, you guys did a great job. The new visual, like, aesthetic of the game is incredibly nice. It's super cool.
Right. Okay, gotta say something nice at the start of the interview. Let me say something about, you know,
Can you tell us a little
the
bit
great
of your
UI?
history with Killer Instinct?
Yeah, I mean, KI came out at like the perfect time for me because I'm sure a lot of people have this. Like when they were younger and they were interested in fighting games, they thought they were so cool.
What's up,
And
Sportsy?
they're like, hey, parents,
stream.
can underage me go fly to this video game tournament? And they were like, no, absolutely not. So then I, like, right when I got out of high school and I like had some wiggle room to like, you know, go do things myself, KI came out. So it was like the perfect timing where I was interested in fighting games. And then Killer Instinct came out.
He
in,
came
like,
a long way,
2013,
Sajam.
when I
Right?
started
Even
to
before
travel and
his
do
like
more stuff.
big
So it was, like, the
commentary
perfect time for me to
career
play the game,
in
and I
Street
loved it.
Fighter.
It's like the first competitive game that I was interested in.
Yeah,
traveling
he was
around
there
playing
with
stuff
Brandon.
at the
Brandon
time,
actually
and it
introduced
was just, like,
him
it struck
to the
perfect
fighting
time.
game
And
community.
It's a game I'm always
I
happy to come
think.
back and play. Like I feel like I always come back
well,
at least once or twice
he
a
had
year. and do,
amazing
like, a
career
KI
so far,
session.
right?
And this update, it makes me really excited. It's like there's so many cool things happening for fighting games right now.
He's a big name
And
now
so the
in
idea
the
of,
FGC
like,
community.
KI being a game on the docket in 2023/2024 that you're like, oh yeah, there's some new KI stuff. Let me go play some KI is a really strange but awesome feeling, I think.
Surprise!
Yeah.
Surprise, mother trucker!
And, this stream, it's not going to be quite the
Oh, dear.
same amount of changes as that infamous and famous stream that we did back at KI Cup 2013.
No!
You wanna say about that?
I was talking about it earlier, right?
Yeah, I mean that's one of my core memories that forms me as a person at this point. You know,
They set the bar very
back
high
when,
back then.
I had pitched to James the timing for the season 3 rebalance being done and the timing of KI Cup that year are like the stars are aligning. Can we go reveal this in front of a live studio audience and risk our lives?
Risk our
James was
lives.
just like, what would you say, James?
Well, you know,
They did survive
a
it,
bit
though.
More conservative back then. I was like, "We're gonna do what?" I mean,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, that's crazy. No one does that.
I think there
And
were
that
like
became
25,000
no one
people
does it.
watching on Max
So, yeah.
stream for KI World
you
Cup
guys
and the balance
killed it.
changes back then.
Again, what was it like 2.5 hours or more?
Yeah, we got about 2 hours worth of content today too.
Yeah,
you have
okay,
2 hours.
It's darn close.
Nice.
It's darn close.
Mhm.
It'll be
But
midnight
yeah, I
when the
mean,
stream
again,
ends.
One of the things I definitely love about how
At least in my
it
end.
goes is, you know, we always have that interaction with the community, and you know, we love talking about the changes and why we do the changes, and really, frankly, I don't think anybody does that better.
Sajam
than your
drinking
team.
beer?
So I'm really excited to get into this.
He's sipping on lean.
Actually, with that in mind, we have a lot to cover today. So
Let's go.
Yeah, we're gonna go through all the balance changes live. Sajam has not seen any of this, so you'll
No?
get his live reactions, and he'll.
That's
be
funny
able to ask
because last
questions as he
time
goes
with
through demo.
like
Well, he got
the
to poke around the build.
KI
He's
World
not
Cup
presented any
time,
of this
he was
in
part
the
of, you know,
So at the end, we'll have a
doing
couple
showing
more
the
updates for
changes,
you from
so
our
he knew
friends
up
at
front,
86,
but this time
by
not.
the way, which I am wearing the freshly
Glacius!
blue Glacius shirt, and
Nerfs.
there's something cool that's new coming from 86 at the end that we'll show you.
Wait,
And
wait,
then
something new?
we're going to do the full patch note. We'll upload the full patch notes online. So until then, you'll just have to follow along with Adam and Sajam and see what's
We
changing.
don't need patch notes. We need the
Right.
actual patch. Someone tell them
James,
in
let me
the
ask you a
chat.
question.
Oh,
When's
dear.
this update going to drop and what's it called?
Oh, when? Oh my god.
Well, it is called Killer Instinct Anniversary Edition. So
It's actually being
it'll
uploaded
include
now.
everything you're going to see here today.
Drum roll.
All that is in final testing right now, and we'll announce a release date as soon as possible.
As soon as
Stay tuned to
possible.
KI socials for that announcement.
No!
And then I
What are you
want to talk really
doing?
quick about additions here. So you're seeing on screen is
What is
something
it,
very
gold?
cool. We're very excited about this. If you think about the journey of KI, we went from season 1 to season 2 to season 3 to season 3.5. We had a la carte characters. We had different editions. We have like
I know-
different
yeah, I had a
editions
feeling
over
as well,
here. We
Yami.
have a definitive edition, and so you know, when we got the opportunity to move KI into all new technology on the Xbox side, and all the new development kit, new services with PlayFab, we want to streamline things because
Take my money!
All those a la carte offers
Just
are part of
tell
it
me
makes
that
it
it's
challenging.
$70.
We get
Just
support
take my
from
money.
people, get reports of people missing content. So we're streamlining everything, and what you're seeing here is
What does
with the
streamlining
release of
mean?
Anniversary Edition. We'll have the free-to-play KI base game that's always been there,
Right.
and one edition which is KI Anniversary Edition.
$30.
So let's talk about the free-to-play game. That's been improved. All 29 characters on the roster are now rotating weekly instead of bi-weekly, and it used to only be 21 of them. So it's all of them. A couple
Right.
more things we've done in there that are nice that we'll talk about later. And then Anniversary Edition will be the premium upgrade with all 29 fighters, all the premium content we ever did,
Right.
including holiday accessories, which some of you may have missed. They'll just be unlocked
From
now.
season 1.
The VIP double XP booster and
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, yeah, yeah. We
anything
have
else
those.
in
We
there
have
that I'm
those. So this is not new, right?
right now. You know, there'll also be KI Gold, of course, which will help you with your progression shortcuts. That's just for in-game
Holiday stuff.
content like skins and accessories and colors that you unlock as you level your characters up. So everything premium is unlocked.
Now, this is if you don't have the game at all,
Let's
Arcade.
talk about what that means for some existing editions like Definitive.
Wait, what?
So-
Wait, what?
Definitive Edition, and
So much
along
text.
with a lot of those other a la carte offers I mentioned, they're being retired after this. So
No!
it'll just be the base game and KI Anniversary Edition. So what that means though is there's M-rated content in the KI Definitive Edition that I think is important to talk about. That's just the KI Classics. The KI we know and love is a teen-rated game. KI Classics are M-rated, and so those are standalone apps. So
Right.
when we retire this, KI Definitive Edition is being retired, and so are the classics for now. We'll figure out what to do with them later.
Oh,
And so
more
anybody
classics.
who already owns Killer Instinct Definitive Edition, don't worry, all of your content is still there. It's always in your library. You can go download your classics. You can download the Definitive Edition app. These are the only things that are being retired that are not going to be available anymore after this.
Done.
If you ever own just one character, if you ever own like Season 2 Ultra Edition, all that's still in your library. Nothing's going away. So I
Okay,
just want
okay.
to reassure everybody that this is just
That's funny because I issued like a giveaway on Twitter for the Ultra Edition.
That's it for that one.
That would suck if I
Cool, so
do like a
basically,
giveaway
if you
and then
bought
it's
any
going to be
versions
retired. You don't have
before, you should
anything
get that upgrade.
of the giveaway, right?
Yes.
Awesome.
Well, yes. Well, sorry. If you have Definitive Edition, right?
Right.
You have Definitive Edition, and
Right.
if you
Ice, please
and
clip that.
anything else you had is still in your library, and you can still
Got it. Cool.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about Steam really fast, and then we'll move on to the fun stuff of the balance.
Head spinning already.
So
It
Steam-
is a lot of information.
Steam
Not
is
gonna lie.
actually getting unified with the other with the other two editions,
Wait.
in the sense that it now has a free to play. Steam was purchase only before, so if you ever had friends who were like,
Unified.
"Well, I'm not sure,"
Ah, okay.
and they didn't have access to Xbox.
Is
so
there
they-
crossplay, though?
version of
Is there
AI.
crossplay,
Now
though?
They can just play the free to play version on Steam. We've introduced that, and it's the same exact deal. 2 editions, everything's streamlined. Owners of the current Steam edition, it's an automatic.
I have both.
update.
Like, I have
The
the Steam
anniversary
version.
edition,
I have the
just
Windows
like
version.
edition
I have the
on
Xbox version.
Xbox and PC. So yeah, I think that is all the business that I needed to cover for editions. Let's get to the balance.
All right. Thanks a ton, James. It's a lot of info.
So,
We'll
no
definitely
crossplay.
touch on it again
Confirmed.
at the end of the stream. Steve, you ready to do this thing?
Yeah. Let's take a looky. I'm so excited. I haven't seen.
Look at the
anything,
UI.
and
Wow,
I'm
gold
dying
and
for it.
purple?
I'm ready to go.
My
It
eyes.
was a
It's
mutual understanding.
Gonna take some time to get
I
used
was
to.
like, hey, I don't want to know any, and you were like,
Sexy
you don't
gold?
get to know anything, and I was like, all right. We shook hands on it, and I was like, cool. I
It looks
get to
better.
see
It's
everything
better
live
than the
and
green
see
and
how
the
fun it
dark
is.
blue.
Yeah, the only thing
Not
I
gonna
told
lie.
him was there's 10 characters that didn't get any changes and that he could play with those and those only. So,
Yeah, so we made sure that you and I.
What is he
could play
doing?
Online if need
What
be,
is-
and we
with the
played
stream
characters that had
volume?
No changes.
Just crank it up.
Which is
Exactly.
fun. And then I closed the app.
You don't
and I
like the
waited-
greenish?
I waited for today so that I could see all the changes. So yeah, I'm excited to see it.
Let's go.
So I'm just gonna navigate to the character select screen here
Mhm.
in
New
Practice Mode, just so you
character?
can see this all new character select screen.
Oh, look at
before
the-
I get into my spiel. The
Oh, it looks
portraits have
crisp.
been completely redone. They look absolutely incredible.
The
And you can
portraits?
see the
Oh
Italian
yeah,
color
look at the
scheme
portraits.
is
And
here
look
as
at
well. Lots of
Kimbu.
purple.
Look at Kimbu.
The giant
They
gas
fixed her
spark flash are now
face.
gone.
Where's
So,
Larry?
yeah,
Bring Larry
pretty
in.
amazing.
Yeah, and I don't know how much you're gonna cover about all the.
Orchid looks anime.
It's very noticeable if you boot up on like a higher like resolution.
Sadira looks
or
the
first
same.
Monitor, and you look at the game now versus before. It's very clear. Yeah.
There's been a lot of UI upscaling and
Dang.
redoing just to make sure that
No
it's
more
really
Janet
clean,
Jackson.
crisp
No more
to
Janet
play
Jackson. They fixed her face finally.
resolution monitor. This game is 10 years old. It was like a long
Rash
time
looks the
on,
same.
Xbox One. So All that
Crazy
work,
they did this
pretty
much.
incredible.
No
I
wonder
really
it took
gonna
so long,
appreciate it,
right?
especially if
It
you're in
also
the
shows
year
you
of
that
2023 or 2024.
there is
playing
money.
games.
There is money to change stuff.
So I'm gonna jump back to the script.
Yeah,
here.
Eagle looks kind of
I was
chubby.
gonna say,
He looks
for
like
a
E
while,
Honda.
We didn't even have
Looks like
that
E Honda.
back then. Like 2013 was before everybody was focused on that stuff. So very cool.
Exactly. All right, so
Why is Rash still
before
in
we
there?
get going, I want to let people know that this stream is
Kim
going to have
Wu
an
looks
after party
terrible.
on Say
What?
James' channel. So he'll
There's
have
an after
access
party?
to the beta version of this build, and
Yo,
he'll
we
be
need
able to
more
test
rice.
stuff out in training mode with you and for you. Steve, if you need someone to beat up during your stream, I will stop by and donate my out of practice hands.
Why this picture? I know what this is from. This is the most random place to grab a picture too. Okay, yeah,
It was my
I'll
choice.
be there.
Yeah,
He doesn't
it's
have a
originally
picture
more
with a
mundane
sandwich?
choice, but that's the right one to go with.
No, yeah,
The
that's
after party
great.
picture, yeah.
That's how I'm.
That's
I'm
how he
gonna
earns
cook
his
in
money,
the car when
Yami.
I'm,
Exactly.
Whether it's Chipotle or like other
yeah,
stuff.
I'll be there. I'll take questions and then yeah, we can do some.
Shinny Sako though
But,
also looks scary.
I'm not gonna like sit there and be like.
Yeah,
like
new AI
like,
looks good.
Super
Yeah, I like it.
extensively every little detail, but we'll go over. You know, I want to do.
Look at
like,
Shago.
a lot of
Look at
characters.
Shago in the middle
Yeah,
with
the
his
full patch
eyes.
notes will be out then as well, so you can reread them as you need to. All right, so let me take a little sip here. I have a long spiel to go through at the start.
Okay. Yeah.
Sako looks like
All
she's
right,
scared.
here we go.
She doesn't look
freak
that
out.
horrifying, right?
Steve,
Scary.
feel free to interrupt me at any time during any part of this presentation with a question or comment. Let's have some fun.
Omen?
Keep it conversational.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And before I read the introduction,
Maybe
to
they
the
got
patch notes,
buffs.
I just need to run to my basement laboratory to grab my lab coat.
Orchid has like this small nose on it. It's probably the shadow, but
It's gone. It's us, chat. I can tell you that the secret to the universe and life is in this build, and I've accessed it when he wasn't looking. And I can now reveal.
Arya has darkness stuff.
Why?
Right. What the fuck? New merchandise? What the hell?
Just like my mad scientist Conra, got my wraps on my sleeves. Thanks to James Goddard for sending me this shirt last week.
We have new merchandise?
I feel like your hair.
New UI?
like you
new
did hair and
merchandise?
makeup, like you did
Whoa.
a stage performance.
Triple A status,
Alright.
man.
Okay,
Triple A status.
on with the show.
Where
This
can
thing
I
gets too
order
hot,
it?
I'm gonna rip it right off my body, just so you know. All right.
Do they have
Hello,
orchid?
Killers, long-time
Where's
no
my
patch,
orchid
version
pajamas? I need my orchid
9.1.13
pajamas. Come on.
Launched on August 16th of 2018. And in the 5 years since then, a ton of you have continued to play Killer Instinct, develop new strategies, and push what is possible at the top levels of play. We've been given the rare opportunity to do one more training pass after
I
all
need
this
my
time,
orchid
so
onesie.
we recruited a few of KI's strongest and smartest players to get their
Is he
feedback
reading
on what
stuff?
minor adjustments they'd want to see. Yeah, I'm gonna need a cough drop. This is gonna be a tough one. All right, here we go.
All right.
The goal of this balance update is to reduce frustrations of some of the game's strongest characters and moves, while also
Strongest
giving a little love to the
characters.
characters who tend to struggle even after 5 years of player effort.
Orchid
Not
buffs!
every character is
Confirmed!
getting changes,
Let's go.
and the changes coming in will, in most cases, not affect your playstyle much. If your characters did not get any changes, keep in mind that some of your more difficult matchups may have gotten easier. We
Right.
hope that these changes will breathe some new life into KI's competitive scene, and we look forward to watching you compete for as long as you're still having fun doing so. The team
Okay.
wants to genuinely thank the community for their passion and dedication to
So
Killer
who
Instinct.
were the strongest
If
characters?
you never stop playing, we hope you
Fulgor?
really enjoy the update. If you're coming back because of the
Rash?
changes, the community will welcome you with open arms and help you catch up because, despite being killers, they really
Jago?
are that nice.
Shago?
While we did receive a multitude of requests for changes and fixes, time is not infinite. The team prioritized the issues
Time
we
is
felt
not
would have
infinite.
the largest impact and tried to take our usual creative approach to them. Some changes, such as
Money
bug
is
fixes,
infinite.
have been
It's,
passed on
Microsoft,
because
right?
they were too risky or too difficult to adjust in the limited time we had to work on the update. Your
No ultimates,
understanding
come
is
on.
appreciated. We will try to include the reasoning used for
Ultimates
each set of
are
the
nice
changes
to
below,
have, right?
as well as an indication of if each change is intended to be a buff or a nerf. You actually won't be able to see that today, but on the actual physical patch notes that we'll release later, you'll see the buff and nerf notations.
Okay.
Select community members weighed in heavily on these changes to give us the best possible chance at improving a game you already love. And we'd like to give them a special thanks for their time, dedication, and invaluable feedback. So, shout outs to Sonic Dolphin, Nikki,
Sonic
Wheels,
Dolphin?
Charbach, Latalis, Hello World, and Roman. The rest of you know who you are, and it's up to them if they want to reveal themselves.
Hello World?
Thank you to all of you
Who's
for making
Hello
this
World?
as great as it could be. Again, the full patch notes will be available online shortly after this stream to read at your own pace. Long ass intro, I got through it. Steve, any questions?
Let's go.
No, just before
Right,
that. Yeah,
time to
I
get
wanted
some,
touch on
snacks.
what you mentioned, where if your
Roman
character-
Reigns?
Even if your character got slight buffs or nerfs, you got to
Right,
remember
right,
that
right.
this whole thing, like every character, there'll be a shuffle. right? If your character was like maybe on the weaker side and your two weakest, matchups got nerfed, then your character might be much stronger, right? So it's just important to remember that don't freak out. And if you do freak out, don't freak out at them. Freak out and keep it in your house, and then calm down a bit, and then play the game.
Exactly. Sum of all parts. The spiel I always give in front of all my balance things.
Yeah.
Wait to hear it all.
What's
See
wrong
how
with my
it looks
OBS?
together, right?
Looks so weird.
So first up, we only have one small system change that I want to go over.
System change.
I'm not going to
okay,
show it here,
interesting.
but we fixed a game-wide bug that could sometimes cause projectiles to not get the first hit 2x damage bonus. So you could
What?
occasionally see things like Eagle's Bird or Rash's Bike do less damage than expected. Oh my god, Rash got a buff.
Let me fix my chat.
Not really,
Hold
It's
up.
already beginning.
It's a game-wide issue, and that's fixed now. So you shouldn't see that happen anymore. It'll just make things feel more
I didn't even
consistent,
know.
which is really good.
That's new information to me.
Additionally, we found a bunch of attacks that deal less damage or less hit stun than expected when they counter hit. So we fixed those issues on a lot of characters. The full patch notes are going to call out
What?
which ones, but on today's stream, I'm just going to skip over those because it gets a little too nitty-gritty. Cool?
Right. Sounds very detailed.
All right, so to avoid leaving people in too much suspense, I want to talk quickly about the characters who did not get any balance changes.
No!
The characters I'm about to list did not receive any balance adjustments.
Here we go.
Though a few did get a minor bug fix or two.
10.
There's a few reasons for that. Firstly, the changes to other characters are going to impact their matchups. So you'll find that some of their hardest
Thank you
matchups
for the
have
follow,
gotten
Barkley.
easier. Secondly, we didn't want to make risky changes just for the sake of making changes. So we carefully considered community
You didn't
feedback
want to
when
break the
deciding
game.
which issues to tackle. Lastly, we believe that these characters are still very capable and strong even without any changes. From Saberwolf's powerful ground control to Hisako's mix-up potential to Mira's extreme damage, we feel they should work even better in this new version.
So
and remain
Wolf,
fun and relevant for
Wolf,
everyone.
Hisako, Mira.
So here's the
changes?
list of the 10 characters. I'm just gonna rip the
7
band-aid
left.
off. These are the 10 characters who did not get any balance adjustments. Saberwolf, TJ Combo,
Right.
Conra,
Expected.
Riptor, Hisako,
Right.
Cinder,
Cinder.
Shadow Jago,
Shadow Jacob.
Arbiter, Mira, and Kilgore.
Orchid buffs the burp.
Yeah.
We're there, fam.
So the winner of the guessing contest on Twitter was Dylan Deck with 6 correct guesses. Thanks to everyone who participated.
Not
in that. That was
me.
a good bit of fun.
No merch.
And for the rest of the list, we're going to go through in
buffs.
release order. So we will start off with Mr. Jago.
Finally,
Whoops.
double projectile for Orchid.
I'm going to be doing player 1 with arcade stick and player 2 with a gamepad, and sometimes I'll have to do both at once. We'll see how that goes for me.
Jago. Jago got so many changes in the
So I
past
want
already. So
refill on the meters. I got my input display
Look at the purple.
on. Looking
Wow,
good.
that's nice.
Cool. And we're off, everybody.
Orchid nerfs.
We increased
Orchid
Jago's
buffs.
forward and backward walk speeds by 10%. This small improvement will help Jago maintain favorable screen position. So he's a little bit faster now. It feels
no.
pretty nice, I would say.
That
Rip
seems
Orchid.
huge, Yeah, that is a really. I think walk speed is one of the biggest buffs a character can ever
That
get.
was like the
Yeah,
one
sometimes
thing
it
that
really
make
is
Orchid stand out, her walk speed, and now
We
other
also
people can
drastically
also
improved the
like
hitbox
move
and active
faster.
time of Jago's jumping heavy punch. This guy right here. This move has like a pizza cutter quality to its animation, but the hitbox is very conservative on that compared to other similar looking jumping attacks. So these improvements are going to
pizza
help it
cutter?
make it feel as good as it looks. So it hits a little earlier and up a little higher, and it also lasts a little longer.
Wait.
And hits behind him for a little longer. So
What did he
it's
used to do?
those kind
Like
of
this is like the move that Shago has,
small
right?
change, but it's pretty nice. And then here's probably my favorite change of all of the changes in the entire change list.
Uh-oh.
We did some adjustments to the Tiger's Fury special. So, Jack of all trades protagonist characters often find themselves in an undesirable spot late in a game's life cycle. Jago is a very complete character, but he does not stand out and is scary in the way that much of the rest of the cast is.
Uh-oh.
So we wanted to figure out how to add some threat to Jago's toolkit and decided to lean into our mantra of
What
high
is
risk,
Tiger
high reward.
Fury? It's like
To do
his
this,
fireball?
We've decided to center Jago's identity around the idea of high damage Tiger's Fury. So the light Tiger's Fury now does 26
A
damage.
DP?
Used to be 18. The medium now does
They
30.
buffed his
used to be
DP?
22. And the heavy now does 34. Used to be 26. So this is a very significant
That was
amount of
crazy.
damage, but it gets
Crazy
really wild
powerful already.
when we turn on
Yeah,
our counter
exactly.
hits.
Uh-oh.
Because
It
we
it
got
launches.
an even bigger buff on counter hit. So the counter hit damage on, and they actually have a ton of extra hit stop as well. So the light
No
buff is
way.
32 on counter hit, got that kind of juicy freeze to it. The medium's 40. And
40%
here's the scary
DP?
one. Heavy 50 damage up front. So these hurt really bad. And if you jump and press the button and you get clipped out of the air by this guy, yeah, that's a lot of life to lose to an unbreakable single hit.
Oof.
But it's very risky. If they block this, you're going to get blown up. You're going to eat a 19% unbreakable.
Nate's gonna be
in the
unstoppable.
fly.
God
And what we found in
damn.
practice
Oh, 50
was that,
HPs. Right.
you know,
It's
the
not
rest of
50%.
Jago's fairly
This is the
mundane
number of
toolkit,
HP.
like his fireball.
But still,
and
it's
taking
like
enemies
a
out, getting
uber
jump,
buff.
and doing some of his little frame traps that are
Okay.
cute but not super
Stop
scary.
jumping.
Suddenly they become a lot scarier when if you decide to press jab or something.
Nobody
you
asked
press
Nate.
One of these, you take a ton of damage.
That does.
Well, Nate is the new KI World Cup winner.
I like
for
my
sure.
favorite thing is you're like we're very conservative with our changes, and you're like.
But this is
Jago
the single
murders
counter
you if you get
hit.
by
What if you
Jago.
end with it, right? Or
Not
just
all
do
of them are
Juggles
the
at the
most
end.
conservative changes, but the goal was to compress the top characters down a little and the bottom characters up a little. You know how it goes.
Jago was bottom character?
This was an interesting one with our test group as well, our NDA test group.
No
I'm sure they'll
way.
tell you after this
Come
is
on.
Over, but I pitched this change to them, and they were all horrified. And
Who
I
did
was
they talk
like,
to?
Let me put it in tomorrow and see how it feels. Let's just try it for a week, and if we hate it, we'll take it out.
Yeah, talk to the bottom.
They
hill.
came around on it like
I
almost
know.
instantly. They were like, "Yeah, this is actually super
This
fun
is
and
trouble.
cool, and it really works for the character and gives him some identity that he kind of needed." So, yeah.
I was gonna say I'm very scared
Unfortunately.
of like counter hit DP instinct. That sounds like a
Yeah.
bad time.
No
But
way.
you
that
need
seems-
for a hit for all that big damage, so it's not
Yeah,
too
yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
The
Wow.
last- Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that seems really good for Jago. His walk speed, I think, is like so nice too. I think they're the matches
Walk
where
speed
he
and the
has to
DP
walk you
buff,
down,
that's
where
insane,
his
like,
screen control is just not.
Now
good.
he's top tier-ish, right?
Doing wind kick.
At least he's moving up levels.
Those kinds of matchups.
A lot of
think
levels.
Really help.
Exactly. So the last change for Jago is we made the first
There's
active
more?
frame of the shadow wind kick reach a little lower. And we also made the push box taller for the first 4 frames. This is a little nitty gritty, but there were some cases where he could shadow counter someone who was low profiling and he would just sail right over him. And this prevents most
Oh.
of those cases. There are still some cases where a character is side switching with him and he'll still miss.
Maybe he's
but this
Sako
stops
when
some of the
she
cases where the person was,
is
low
ducking.
profiling.
It still goes over probably. Okay,
Are we having a frame rate problem?
we're having a frame rate
sure.
problem. I think it's pretty
Kill my
obvious.
feed real quick.
Jesus, who's paying these guys? Frame rate problem?
And then reopen it. That fixes everything.
Who are these
Yeah.
amateur streamers?
It has been
You gonna
running
run
for
a
while.
stream?
Yeah, it also looked good. For
Keats,
me,
please. oh,
720. Let's see how it looks.
look at the gold though.
All right, let me know.
All right, they're fixing it.
We good, Derek?
Are we good?
Are we good? Am I back? Okay. Yeah, I think it booted me for a second.
Oh, okay.
Looking good?
Smoother,
Looking clean again?
right? Imagine Orchid Slide can be cancelled into a Nissan. Wow.
I'm missing like everybody on the stream here.
They better do the same with Orchid's like Tiger Knee.
I don't
Is it
have
Tiger Knee?
Sam or James
Oh, it's
like
not
that.
Tiger Knee, but
Oh, there
her
it is.
DP
They're coming back.
to also
I must
to
have had
buff
internet
her
or something.
damage, right?
Hopefully that doesn't happen again.
And also the
cool.
the hurt box
Well, we're good, yeah?
that also should be wider so that it doesn't do like.
full second.
Does
when
it
you do
whiff?
DP, and the
It
hit stop
whiffs
is
sometimes.
unreal.
Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah, more
decent.
height. Their like trajectory is weird. Sometimes it
You can
misses.
feel it. In your
It doesn't
chest.
feel like a real DP, right?
Okay, cool.
It should be invincible.
That
should,
is
should,
it
like,
for Mr. Jago.
You should be scared of the DP. Nobody's scared of Orchid's DP.
I like those changes.
Like,
The walk speed, especially. I'm a walk speed enthusiast.
What is the official name
Like,
for the
buff I
DP?
could get, you know,
Yeah.
so I'm
more
all
range
about
from crouching heavy punch
All
too.
right, so now I'm using my gamepad to play Glacius. We got some changes for Glacius here. We reduced the frame
Glacius
advantage
nerfs.
after a successful combo breaker to 0. Used to be +4. He used to have the most advantage off of a combo breaker in the game.
Okay, I didn't
It
know
also
that.
left you at a distance where he could kind of
Buster!
wrist,
Yeah,
and
that
because
was-
he was +4. That was tough to deal with. So this change should make that situation feel a lot more manageable after a combo breaker from Glacius.
Yeah, but it's only after the combo breaker. It's
I
not
guess I'll try
literally
that.
a nerf, right?
I'm gonna hold up on both. Look at that.
Okay,
They're
it's
about
kind of like the
even.
same, right?
Pretty good. All right. We also reduced the pushback on block from the light, medium, and heavy cold shoulder attacks, so their frame data actually matters.
Cold
Those are
shoulder
-3,
nerfs?
-5, and -8 on block, which remains unchanged. But previously, Glacius could be
Finally.
so far out of range that most characters couldn't punish him, even if he was very negative. So let's see what that looks like. That's the heavy.
Yes,
the light.
they listened.
He's very in there, so you can actually get punishes on this guy now.
Took them like
That's a huge
5
change
years
for
to
Glacius.
change.
They're gonna have to be a lot more thoughtful with this move. cover it with hail a lot more often to make sure that they have some insurance behind them.
No more infinite cold
There
shoulders.
is kind of a bonus to this where if you make somebody block this and then you go Shadow Hail, you can actually get a true block string with it, which wasn't true before.
Oh,
if they're
shit.
standing. If they're
That's not
crouching,
good.
They can still wiggle out. But yeah, kind of a big deal for Glacius to not be able to just throw that out quite as often.
Right, I agree. Okay.
And then
We got some
last
balance
up for
in,
Glacius, we
right?
added 4 frames of recovery time on whiff and block to the Instinct Teleport Puddle Punch. It's now
The
minus
Instinct
16 on block. You see minus 12. All combos
Ah,
on hit are the same.
okay.
The manual cancel window hasn't changed, so it
Well, it
feels
didn't
exactly
matter
like it
against
used to.
Hisako because that was like an
the difference
auto.
is if
What is
somebody
happening with
jumps
the?
it,
Okay.
Or blocks it, they're gonna have a bit more time to hit him and maybe deal with the armor.
Okay,
some characters
that's
like
good.
Arbiter could block that from a range where they couldn't really hit a fierce or anything like that to even deal with the armor, so that helps as well in that matchup. And yeah, that's it for Glacius.
Okay. Yeah,
That's
that
it
seems
for
about right.
Glacius.
The whiff on Puddle Punch, yeah, I mean, it was very often that you would just like jump and then I'll be there, and then he would just be like, I don't care, and then just smoke you with armor. So you're like, well,
Goodbye.
Yep.
Oh, Thunder.
Next up, we're gonna
Thunder
put
changes.
Thunder and Sadira on the screen.
Oh my God, Sadira. Sadira buffs.
All right, so for Thunder, this is kind of a big one.
Finally, some buffs for
Limited the
Sadira.
time window in which a
That
follow-up
also
has
took
to be
years.
chosen after all versions of Salmon. So visually, once Thunder's feet start to drop below Jago's head, Sadira
Sadira nerves? No.
Follow-ups are no longer
She's
the
like
process.
bottom
You used to be able
tier.
to do these up to.
Maybe they
1
gave
frame before you
DP
punch
to
people.
Sadira.
So check out my input display over on the left. You can see when I'm pressing the buttons, right? If I do the Samamish and I fall below her head and I hit that button, nothing happens.
Ah, okay.
I have to do it much earlier than that. Right?
Okay.
But if you
No
hit
more
them above the
DP
head,
spams for
still get out whatever follow up
Thunder.
So you have to commit to
Item
these a
Master is
bit
gonna be
earlier than you did
pissed.
before. And that kind of gets rid of some of the most frustrating
Kunai
nonsense
bullshit
that
needs to go.
Thunder
Oh,
was
come
kinda
on.
doing.
Stop the Sadira hate.
Throwing
She's
this
fun.
out.
She's fun.
Abusing
You
the
should try her
you
one
know,
day.
high priority and projectile
Yeah, must commit
vulnerability,
earlier.
hitting a follow-up so low to the ground that it was so hard to deal with his choices no matter what they were. So
Nice.
huge change for Thunder.
yeah, huge, yeah.
Good
We
input
also
from
added
the
5
players.
additional frames of recovery time.
Item
for
Master's
everyone
actually
after
here.
Samamish,
Haha,
surprisingly
Item Master.
dropkick. So that doesn't
But you play
apply to
Shago
Skyfall,
now, man.
but if you just land from a Samamish, or you
play
land
Shago
from
now.
Dropkick or Surprise Knee, use 5 more frames of recovery before you can block or jump right there as well. So players are going to be able to probably in most
Thunder
cases
nerves,
react
Orchid buffs.
to which
Maybe we
choice
can
he makes
finally
because
beat
of
Item
when He
Master.
has to make it and be able to punish
Yeah,
him.
he's
if
been
he's
playing
doing
Shago for
this
years.
this move. So again, huge change for Thunder. This would be a huge nerf overall for him if we didn't add a couple buffs back in.
No,
Which is
no
what we did, because,
buffs!
Again, the goal of this change was to just reduce one of those frustrating aspects, not to necessarily nerf the character.
Buffs to Thunder?
And you'll see a couple of those in the change list as well. So what we did was we increased his forward and backward walk speeds by 20% to compensate.
More walk
and
speed?
help him
Oh
play a
my
more,
freaking
strong,
god.
grounded game with his strong set of normals.
Wow.
and specials. So
20%, that's
this dude is moving
insane.
pretty fast now.
20% is
Huge
insane.
for him. And he has some incredible buttons.
I mean, he's like-
press, all kinds of great range.
As
stuff.
fast as
It's
Orchid
really
then,
gonna help
right?
him play
They're
the
gonna
footsies
run
game,
through the
play
screen
grounded
like
game, keep control of
the
match.
neutral
And
crazy.
then the last thing we did for him to compensate was we shortened the recovery time on Call of Sky, where you give the Crow's
Oh, that's
Blast
fast.
by 5 frames. So Lightning still hits on the same frame, but it has 5 frames less recovery, so you can get that buff on yourself a little bit more easily in matches where
Even
an
more?
opponent can quickly throw themselves across the screen. Helps a lot.
Okay. Well, it puts him up on the ladder as well, right?
Yeah,
So
those are great changes.
I
was
guess
gonna
like
say, too, the one thing about the
generic
walk speed is,
buffs,
walking up and
it's
doing
like walk
DP
speed to
like,
you know, like
mix
play
up
around with it.
animation is probably much easier too, right?
Like imagine
already
Orchid
walked
also
forward,
with
so
20%.
gives you that
you know,
extra little range to like
faster
walk, in
walk
and get,
speed.
like the tip.
Should be
range
like
of it, where it's
teleporting,
hard to
man.
Walk away from it, so
Yep.
that might
Have you
help out
seen
a bit too.
Especially if
hologram?
people are
Well, he
blocking
wasn't
with
part
mids
of the panel
like from this range
for the
or-
input, right?
Yeah. No, that's great. I mean, I think everybody knows that when Thunder just
YOLOgram?
doing Samamish over and over in neutral, like it sucks, right? It just you're just like, dude, this sucks. Like I'm just getting help. Like so.
Exactly.
I'm happy that the game plan is moving slightly away from that and towards
Yeah.
stuff about him that's more fun to deal with.
Like I said, the goal of the changes a lot is to kind of take some of those
Yeah.
frustrators and
Now
stuff,
I'm really curious about the
make the
Orchid
characters a little bit
changes.
more fun to
Like,
fight against. But
what
still keep them,
have they
keep 'em
come up
strong.
with then, right?
All right, let's talk about Sadira.
Sadira!
We fixed the bug that allowed her to cancel her.
A bug?
To call her web instinct projectiles during a combo breaker. So she could do a combo breaker, call the web projectiles, and she could actually get pressure off a combo breaker, which just isn't in the spirit
Right.
of the game.
Ah,
so we
okay,
just
okay,
got
okay.
rid of that ability. Small thing. But we did want to give her a buff. We
What?
increased Sadira's forward and backward walk speeds by 20%. Now, as you
Wow.
know, percents are a larger number on a character that was already.
But she's
kind
not
of
walking.
fast, so
She's in the air
she
all
is
the
really
time.
cruising. She's among the fastest ground characters in the game now.
Wow.
Really, 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 really fast.
He's so fast.
He's really
I guess
fast.
we're not
She
jumping
had this
anymore.
problem
What's
before
up, Endless
where her
Pain?
Jumping is actually really fast as well, and it was much faster than her walking. So you would see this.
Yeah.
And what we made this change basically so that when
People
Sidira
are,
players
you know,
don't want to
they
jump
keep
around
her
like an
grounded
Endless
then.
maniac, they can actually use her great grounded buttons and keep control of the game, get in position for those really nice anti-airs.
Sadira neutral play?
This one especially, right? This leads to a lot of party. And I think it really just helps the character a lot if the Sadira player can stop holding up. So we'll see how well that goes for the
If the
Sadira.
Sadira player can stop
You're
holding
like
up.
not gonna. You're gonna be like, dude, you got Nova. They're gonna be playing for like 3 weeks. Like,
Punk Dash,
single
thank you
change.
for the follow.
Yeah,
Appreciate
there
it.
are some players who do play a more grounded Sadira, and I think those players are going to make the character look really scary.
Right,
She's
right,
already
right.
pretty good.
She's already pretty good. Did he just say that?
Let's check out Orchid.
Here we go, here we go, here we go. Orchid buffs incoming. We increased her walk speed with 50%. At least 50%. Let's
Alright, so
go.
for Orchid. Let me turn Spinal on Human. Real
Oh,
quick.
she already looks faster.
She's got quite a few changes actually. So
Quite
we
a
also
few
fixed-
changes?
we fixed the bug that allowed her to cancel her ground combo breaker into Shadow Uppercut. I can't demo it obviously because it's gone.
Yeah.
but
That
she
one.
had this-
The
it
Nate
was
special.
Wild.
Okay,
So the
okay.
combo
That was
breaker, you
expected,
cancel
right?
into Shadow Uppercut. You
Okay.
won't be able to do anything about it. Lots of damage.
Now we go to the
Which
buffs.
is not in the spirit of the game. That was one of the changes I was most scared to physically do because I was like, okay, this is either gonna be like a week's worth of the most complicated, risky work I've ever done, or I'm gonna delete one line of code and it's gonna be fine. It was the second one. I deleted one line of code and this was fixed. So
One line of
Yay,
code
got
fixed
lucky.
it.
Yeah, I know. Everybody wanted this fixed. Yeah.
yeah, so I'm glad that that's gone.
Rip
We also
Orchid.
fixed the same bug that Sadira had, where she could call her Jaguars during a combo breaker and get pressure.
Wait,
off
they're
of
called
combo
Jaguars
breakers.
now?
Yeah, not really in the spirit of the game.
Yeah.
so
Cold
we went the other
shoulder
way.
is nerfed.
But on to the Orchid improvements.
Yes!
This is a
Double
character
grenade.
that really hasn't put up a lot of results in the last 5 years. And
I
she's
know,
really
right?
cool, so we wanted to give her some stuff and see how it goes. First up, we did some instinct mode improvements. The
Oh.
Jaguars now deal an additional 15 frames of hit stun to grounded opponents.
Oh, we got it.
Looks like
More
much
hit
longer
stun.
Hit stun.
That's good.
That linked, even that slow. So that really helps her kind of put together. a
Thank
combo, which is
God.
great.
Yeah, that's really good.
The Jaguars now launch airborne opponents into a better position for a juggle.
Oh, you see the juggle?
Really nice.
The like
And they have
the
a
hit?
longer hitbox. So used to be they only had
Okay,
kind of hitbox
that could
on the
lead
front
to
legs,
some
and now it's all
interesting
weighted to the
stuff.
Jaguar's butt. So if you
More
jump over them
ultras?
and land
They
on
brought the
their
ultras
butt,
back?
yeah,
7 ultras, let's
a little bit more
go.
Threatening and all that stuff. So her instinct
Oh, wow.
functions pretty similarly to like
Yeah, look at it.
Ratchet's
They should
and
should
Sadira's, but
change
it's
her
just, like, a lot
target
harder for
combos
her to
because
get
they
the same kinds of
all
rewards
end with
off
a
of this,
heavy.
as
What?
them. So I think this change really helps her with a little bit of lab time find some really interesting
Infinite
things,
Camouflage
especially
full
if you
combo.
build in the grenade to some of these setups to get some really interesting combos and resets going.
And
Pretty cool
resets.
change.
Okay. Like.
Next up, we got some adjustments to the knee slide. The
YOLO
knee
slide?
Light knee slide is now -2 on block. Used to be 5. That's this one. It used to be -5. Now it's
Better frames?
The medium slide now travels farther and faster.
Oh, nice.
It was about as far as the heavy one used to.
Okay.
And it now has 7 additional frames of recovery time and 5 additional frames to start up before it starts moving because it moves so quickly.
Phew.
It's
What about the heavy one?
Now used to be -7. And here's where we get a little wild. This is not a conservative.
Plus.
change. The heavy slide now travels much farther and faster.
Oh, fuck!
It has 10 additional
That
frames
is
to start up before
crazy.
it starts moving, so you can see
YOLO
it's got full
slide?
steps before it
They
starts
buffed
moving.
YOLO
Doesn't even
slide?
combo off
Oh
some of the
my
moves
freaking
anymore.
God.
Still have counter hits on it, and that still didn't.
Yo, I'm gonna use that move so much. I'm gonna
slower, you can
spam
tell.
that.
It has 22 additional frames of recovery on whiff, so that if people jump it, they can actually hit her.
Mm-hmm.
And it's -13 on block. It used to be -10.
Yes.
So the reasoning for this, a lot of characters on the roster have similar low-hitting sliding kick special moves, and upon review, it was pretty clear that Orchid's was the worst of the bunch by a lot. These improvements should help in a lot of
They
various aspects
acknowledged
of the
Orchid.
gameplay.
They
In
acknowledged
fact, our first
Orchid. Oh
pass
my
at
God.
updating these helped so
Jesus,
much
who gave them
that we had to
input?
go back and give them
Props for that person, man.
Whiff and block that I just demoed to make sure that they didn't run away with the game.
Is it
Because
plus? Did they
the first
say
version
that
of
it's
this was
plus?
Wild, and I'm sure some of the NBA tests.
Can he do the slide again? That is so freaking fast. Oh my
I
god.
mean, I totally believe it. These are nice though. I think it's a good assessment that like she had a lot of similar moves to other characters, but they just didn't feel as good.
I know,
The
right?
worst version of slide, right?
Yeah, yeah. And like her instinct.
She
too.
was
There's a lot of- as
underrated.
you mentioned, there's other instincts that kind of serve the same.
It was
purpose,
wheels.
so a pass on it.
Yeah, and she's a cool character, so we'd love to see more of her, right? One other change we gave her. This is a really nice
Oh,
one.
more?
We adjusted the startup of the Shadow Knee slide. That's this guy right here, so that it's immune to projectiles on frame 0. It used to be frame 2. So she was one of the only characters in the game who, if she had a
She
meaty
always
projectile,
got
she
hit.
actually couldn't use her projectile invincible move to get through it. So that's now fixed, which is very nice. And we fixed a couple counter hit issues on her. Like I said, we're not going to go over those fully on this. stream,
Ah,
but
see? No more
that is
trades.
it for Orchid. Not too
Nice.
bad. All right.
Yeah, those are great.
Okay. Nice.
Final, very short list for
Okay,
Spinal.
happy Orchid here.
Increases forward walk
More
speed.
YOLO slides, right?
Look at him go. He's coming to get you. And then his back walk speed's increased by 10%. And these are
Back
gonna
walk
help
speed.
Spinal find a better spacing and more matchups to land those crucial anti-airs and pokes to get his game started.
Okay.
Because he has a pretty
Well,
good set of
Spinal
moves,
has been
just
changed
he was
over the
so
years
slow,
so
he
much
wasn't
as
getting
well,
into position.
right?
And when you feel this forward walk, you're gonna be like, oh,
Very
look at
happy.
that. I mean, you can see he's kind of stomping at you. Right?
YOLO
Pretty big
slide.
difference. And that's it for Spinal.
That's so funny that they even thought of, like buffing
I
YOLO
mean,
slide.
he's not a character that walks a ton, but when he does walk, having that extra little bit of juice is pretty nice.
It is very nice.
All right, who else do we
All
have?
right.
Old creaky bones.
Yeah.
So already covered
Moving on
my
to
mains,
Fulgore,
right?
the
So Hisako
most
didn't have any
changed character in the
changes.
history of this game,
Sadira
but
has
not
buffs,
probably,
like the
right?
walk speed is crazy.
Remember
They
old
will be
heavy
no
laser?
Oh, Maya. Oh, I'm curious about Maya. And Orchid has
So
the
Fulgore
most
is
buffs.
a tricky beast.
Wow.
He's got this special custom meter that he relies on. He can
All
do
right, let's see.
everything.
But Fulgore should
You know,
get
he's
nerfs,
been
right?
proven to be a
He's
pretty
like one of
ridiculous
the one of
character
the
time and
best
time
characters.
again, no matter how we seem to adjust him. So
They
here's
slow
another
down his
attempt
walk
at that.
speed
Let's
with
see how it
20%.
goes. So Blade Dash, this move right here, this guy. We made some adjustments to that. We've
Minus
adjusted the
10.
block stun on all the normal uncharged versions of the Blade Dash to make them more negative. They used to be -2, -3, and -4. Now they're -4.
Yeah, they made
-6,
pretty
and -8 for
conscious
light
decisions.
medium,
I
heavy.
mean, walk
So
speed,
that's
I
a
don't
pretty
know.
big
like,
change.
the walk speed is something
Maya
shocking
unplayable
because we
real
didn't
quick.
expect that, right?
There we go. So we block with
Okay.
her, and then two-handless.
They're really balancing the game, right?
Look at that. That's neat. All right. So moving on. This is kind of a burf. This is a nerf and a buff. So bear with me until I get through this whole
burf?
section on this move because there's a lot going on here. Fulgore can now pip cancel the Blade Dash on
Yeah, we
whiff
can
or
finally
block
punish it.
into any of the following special moves.
Rip
Energy Bolt,
Nikki.
Eye Laser,
Oh, what? Really? He canceled
Plasma
it?
Port, Plasma Slice.
Oh, shit.
Previously, he could only do Plasma Slice and only on whiff.
Right?
So even if you blocked this, you wouldn't be able to do Plasma Slice or anything like that. So Blade Dash is a powerful.
That's
tool
definitely a
for
burf.
Fulgore
Like, I don't
to
even know what to
use.
think about it,
To
right? It's
adjust
so,
this, what
it's
we
so
really
wacky.
wanted to try, and what our test group really was interested in, was making it more negative on block and forcing Fulgore to use his
Like,
pokes
yeah,
to
I
do
know.
cancels to cover
yeah,
himself.
KI
which I love the idea.
KI1 Fulgore.
But when we started investigating it, we were like, oh, he's only allowed to do this and only on whiff. So
Mm-hmm.
we have to open up these options to make this plan work. So that's what we did. We opened up.
I'm still thinking about the
the
instinct
result
cat
of this is
of
we can run
Orchid,
Fulgore's
like the
best
juggle
options
one.
in neutral, but it's increased the
dang.
strength of his instinct mode. So we've opted to pull back on.
What can we
Fulgore
do
and
with
various
it?
Other ways to compensate and ensure he ends up a bit
Kinda,
weaker overall.
kinda. Yeah, retro games.
You know, I think you'll want to test this one in the lab on your stream a little bit later. But what you'll
What's up,
find,
Esteban?
this is very hard for me to do with two controllers with one dude. But if he's doing this and he's canceling into things, there is a gap, right? And you're going to be
Nice.
able to press your 5-frame button in there in almost every case, except for if he risks an uppercut.
Nice,
So
nice,
he's got to
nice.
kind of convince you to calm down in most cases, or he has to charge up a Blade Dash first so that he can get a better frame advantage before he does the cancel. It's not quite as scary as it sounds, but it does take a little bit of bravery, I guess, to know that you should be pressing a button after you block that most of the time now. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Makes sense, right?
Also,
Alright.
yeah, this move.
I agree.
This move's pretty wild for a character who has movement and fireballs and everything like he had before. I mean, yeah, him just flying around the screen with that move whenever he wanted and just buffering like a linker or auto double for free and then just escaping after was really
Yep.
strong.
So the next change, I think the rest of these are nerfs.
Yes,
Heavy
nerfs
Eye Laser
incoming.
now deals 20 kV instead of 10, and that's because our changes gave him a new looping combo, which is, you know, cancel this into that,
Right.
and then cancel that into that. Oops, cancel that.
You saw the UI with the
that,
basic?
so
it's like blue. It's not red
like
anymore.
that. And you can just keep hitting lasers, right?
Here, triple. you
You
see?
get 5 of those before the combo breaks.
That's
Used to
new as
be-
well in the
before we
UI.
made that change 10, which was a little. It's a lot.
It's
to
probably
spend for not a lot of
purple,
damage,
since
but
the
an instinct
theme is
a
like
little
purple
scary
and
because
gold.
of how his instinct works. So we had to make that change. We also made some adjustments to his instinct mode because it became more powerful thanks to these blade dash changes. So to combat this, we made it so that his instinct mode
Yep, deserve
spends a
nerfs.
little bit of its remaining time every time he uses a free pip cancel. So he's going to lose 5 points for each free cancel, with the exception of energy bolts 2 and 3.
I like what I'm
which
hearing,
cost 2
guys.
points.
I
So
like
for
what I'm
context,
hearing.
the instinct meter is 250 points long. You lose 16.6 points per second, resulting in a 15-second duration. So watch Fulgor's instinct meter here. I'm going to throw the multiple fireballs. You can see little chunks of the instinct time being taken away. And I can do some of these other cancels.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
you
It
can
goes
see
faster now.
More chunks of the instinct time are getting taken away every time he does that. So if the Fulgor player goes absolutely wild in this mode,
Ballistic,
kinda similar to
then
Tusk's
instinct
for
is
pepper
over, right?
cancels, you can probably expect like an 11 or 12-second instinct mode instead of a 15-second one, which makes a massive difference.
It does actually.
Yeah,
Yes.
give you a quick update from the chat. It's not a question. I just want to talk about the journey that you've taken them on. I've watched chat go from no, yes. Some people found Jesus. Oh God.
Yeah. It's a
To
sum of all
know-
parts,
Jesus.
right? You gotta wait till you hear it all.
And I think you've taken them on the journey to happiness. Some people are gonna be very happy. I think some people are still a little distressed. I see a what did they do here and there. Anyway, very good update. This Fulgor one did not disappoint.
Yeah, you guys will definitely have to see how you feel once you play it. You know,
Yeah,
snap
people have to
judgments are
readjust,
not your
right?
friend. Play it
A lot
for
of people
week,
need to readjust.
go to the lab. see
Just
how
the
you feel
walk
after
speed
that.
alone,
It'll all
that
gel
like
together, or it won't, and you'll tell
gives
us,
the
and then
game a whole new
we'll test
dynamic.
it again. Who knows?
That's
Let's keep
interesting.
going. We got more nerfs for Fulgor. Who wants
Good.
more nerfs for Fulgor? I do.
Make him like
All right,
mid
so we
tier.
made some adjustments to the light and medium eye lasers. Both the light and medium eye lasers have had their hit stop and block stop time increased from 6 frames to 15 frames. This results in a
Wow.
much
From
more
6 to
legible and
15?
reactable freeze frame when blocking each hit. See how much chunkier that is?
Oh, yes,
to
it
be
was
like,
almost
pew,
sticky now, right?
Pew.
Pew.
Medium eye laser remains -3 on block, but light eye laser is now -6 on block, which means it is punishable by jabs and stuff like that. If you don't space it right, there you go, punishable.
Boom.
So the previous versions of these were powerful pressure tools that hit low, and as a bonus, were very hard to shadow counter due to their short hit stop and Fulgor's ability to mix between 1 or 2 hits. So we've made these changes to give these moves a bit more identity and help
Punishable
opponents fight
Fulgor.
against
Yes,
them.
it's happening.
So now Fulgor players are choosing between a single hit low that's punishable when blocked, or a 2-hit low that's safe on block but can be more easily shadow countered on reaction. So
Right, nice, nice.
yeah, pretty easy to shadow counter that on reaction now. Definitely a big change for Fulgor players. They're going to have to rethink the use of that move a little bit to make sure that they can't.
I wonder what Nicky's
get in
thinking
your
right
face
now.
and let it
He's
rip
like,
over and over. So if
gotta
you're worried
readjust.
about him coming in with the drill and then
The
shooting
teleport,
lasers at your
right?
feet and you just being overwhelmed, that's not going to be nearly as overwhelming as you might have thought once you
No more blender stuff, right? Like on knockdown,
That's
it was
all.
pretty much okay.
We also
Fireball,
added
teleport,
6 additional
laser.
recovery time to the plasma
yeah,
port.
what to do,
The teleport before Fulgor is allowed to take another action.
Mirror too. Yeah, that's
That
true.
may not
But he
sound
plays the
like
whole
a
roster,
lot,
right?
But in practice, it actually makes
sure these pro
punishing
players
teleports
would
from
be
neutral
able to
much more
adjust, you know,
reasonable.
to pretty much
Reduces
anything.
the speed of some of his nastiest mix-ups. Some of his
Just give him
mix-ups
some
where he got
time.
2 teleports, so he should only get 1 now.
But
you know, you'll see that in
nobody's
the
going to be able to adjust to the new
like, even a
Orchid.
medium button, and it's more
Orchid.
likely to come out
Top
the
tier
correct direction
Orchid?
as well. Because a lot of times,
It's
because
happening.
of the timing of the old version, you would try to press the button to punish. You would swing the wrong way, and he would appear behind you, right? And your button's much more likely to come out the correct way right now. That doesn't
My
mean he still
challenge
won't be a
completed.
menace with these. You know, he's still gonna.
My
throw
boss says
fireballs
400
and kinda
pounds,
mix
too
in
much for an
teleports
expert
to cover them and do all kinds.
Yeah,
of
new
nasty
juggle
stuff.
potential. I'm like
But,
thinking about that. New
definitely,
juggle potential,
Again,
instinct
a lot more
potential,
thoughtful version of the move than we previously had.
YOLO slide potential.
That is huge. 6 frames of that is huge for sure. That's a big one.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
We also noticed that Fulgor's hit stun, block stun, and counter hit stun values on his energy bolt projectiles, that's these guys right here, were very inconsistent. So we did a pass to normalize them, but weaken them a bit overall. Like the light ones had more hit stun than the heavy ones, but the medium ones had like the least. It just didn't make sense, so we just went through and gave them a single set of values. You'll see those values in the full patch notes, but they're a little bit worse than
Okay.
they were. All the
Wonder if
combos
Flick Flag might be
have
fully broken
development
again,
still
like it
work as
was
far
in
as I've been able to tell.
3.7.
I think Nikki helped me figure
There's
that
a
out
Flick
as
Flag
well,
can be
so,
more viable.
I'm confident
could
that's
be.
a good change. We also added 4 additional frames of hit stop and block stop to the first hit of Double Claw.
It's gonna be
Make
more
that a little bit
fun,
easier to
like
shadow counter as
juggling
well.
in
It's one of
general,
the
right? With
harder
Orchid.
command normals to shadow counter. I don't know if you can feel those 4 frames over the stream, but it's a small change, but an effective one, I think.
Oh, it looks slower now. This move.
We also fixed a bug that was exclusive to Fulgore and Kilgore, where his shadow counter had 7 less frames of catch time, so like 7 less frames of parry time, and 10 less frames of recovery time. So we normalized those. Yeah,
that
and
big?
there was a counter hit issue we fixed as well. But I fully
Yeah,
expect
minor
Fulgore
stuff.
to still be, like a top 5 character after all this. You're just gonna have to play a bit more thoughtfully, and
Shadow
he's
Dragon
honestly a very
TJ.
good character.
Oh,
at doing
interesting,
it. He
yeah.
has pretty good buttons and a good set of neutral tools. It's just the kind of
Okay.
more hog wild style.
Let's go to Maya.
Fulgore
Heard enough about
a little
Fulgore.
less something you'll want to consider.
Yeah, a little less barbaric. But yeah, I mean his tool set is so good that it's like he has everything you'd want and more in a character, Like I think that's what draws people to him. He's so fun because of that.
Yeah, so many options.
I think the new
so-
cancels will help make up some ground there. Like people will be excited to mess with that.
Yeah, people will still lose the.
All right,
Nickelodeon
they're switching.
tables, So.
Will Maya get
see
season
how it
2
goes.
damage special ender
All
back?
right, so next up, there's one
knows?
little change we did for TJ Combo, a bug fix I just wanted to mention. He used to not
TJ
be
Combo?
able to cancel a kick manual into Shadow Vortex, like an oddly specific thing. We found a weird line of code in there that nobody knows where it came from that strictly prevented that for some reason. So we removed it, and that was fixed. So just a small change for TJ folks. Little combo
TJ buffs.
But let's move on to
Arcade,
Maya.
where are you? Okay, Maya, let's go.
One change for Maya.
One
You
change.
know I'm a
only?
Dagger Assault fan, Steve. The Dagger Assault no longer ends if Maya gets hit, but it will still end if she gets knocked down. So let's take a look.
What?
We need to build up some pips. And then we will go ahead and land the Dagger Assault. And then we punch her, and it's still hitting me. Oh no!
Oh,
no,
oh,
this
it
is
won't
horrible.
cancel.
But
Okay,
if I knock
okay,
her
okay.
down, it will end immediately. So if you throw her or knock her down, it'll end immediately. Dagger Assault's a lot of fun. We had to design it very conservatively to avoid being a total
They
nightmare.
made
for
a lot of
opponents.
changes with the
changes
Dagger
made it
Assault, right?
Easier to use without tipping the scales too much.
Thank God.
I think one of the
You're
most
gonna pick her up
important things to
again,
remember here is that
Icewater?
She has no high-low mix-up except for this overhead, and this
That's
overhead
true.
actually puts her in the air. So if you hit her out of this, she falls down even with a jab. So if she wants to do any type of mix-up to you other than a strike throw while you're blocking these, she's either gonna have to jump and do like an empty low or something, or she's gonna have to do one of these and put herself in a position where she can get jabbed out, which means she falls, and then the daggers fall out as well.
Right.
I don't know how big a change this is in practice. I think it's fairly minor in most matchups. It'll really depend on what kind of really tight
So really
setups
like
Maya players are able
like
to
a
develop
buff or
for this.
anything, right?
But it does add a lot of fun to the move and remove some of the
Because
risk
it's
of it. I
situational.
think
You don't
one of the
always have
riskier
meter
things
to
do
do
with
Dagger
Maya,
Assault.
if you didn't have instinct to immediately call those
No shadow
daggers
counter
back.
fix? What's
So
up,
I do expect to see
CQL?
Maya players get a little bit more mileage.
Thank
out
you for
of
the
it, which is
follow.
great.
More cool
That's what we
TV.
want.
I disabled the alerts. Yeah. In shambles?
All right,
Aw.
moving on.
Maybe next time.
I have an omen change that I'm not going to demonstrate. I'm just going to read it.
Oh, they're going to
Reduced
Argonos.
Omen's meter gain on all of his enders except his meter type
I
ender,
think
which is
Maya was pretty strong.
he remains the king of meter gain,
the hell?
but it ended up feeling a bit too small.
I thought I disabled it. I still hear the sound.
Types.
Not sure why.
This change should force Omen
Was
players
like
who
a-
need meter to actually use the meter ender, which should in turn lower his overall damage and threat output.
Let me check. I think it's this one.
Yeah, he kind of. I mean, that's the nice thing about having 17.
Argonos, who else?
It's like, all right,
Yeah.
cool.
Just do whichever
Arya.
one you want.
Oh,
You're
we,
gonna have plenty.
we thought Arya wouldn't get changed, right? Or at least that was
Still
my
builds good meter
prediction.
on
but-
those enders.
Okay, let's
just the way it
see.
was done before.
Yeah, Omen was wild.
No ultimates.
Yes.
Okay, here we
This
go.
time,
No more
we'll
100%
get on
combos.
We reduced the amount of hit stun inflicted by medium and shadow versions of Natural Disaster to prevent them from comboing directly into Shadow Payload Assault. So let's take a look. I'll do the medium one, and then I'll go into Shadow Payload Assault, and
This doesn't work
well,
anymore.
that didn't combo, but I can't block because I forgot to put it on human controls.
Huh.
There we go.
Okay, that will
Try that
help.
again. Take two. Here we go.
Boom.
got hit, but she's able to block, right? That's
Ah.
not a true thing anymore. And it's
Okay.
the same with the Shadow version. Whoops.
Rip Latalis. Well, you probably helped him
That used to be a true combo. That's no longer a true combo as well.
because he was part of the people who helped with
This is going to
changes.
make confirming into Aghanos's most damaging unbreakable combos
Right.
way less common and require him to give you at least one breakable window in most of those cases before going into them. So after you
Okay,
do those moves,
nice,
then
nice,
go
nice.
into like a heavy and then do it, which is a pretty big deal. You will still be able to combo directly into Shadow Payload Assault if the Shadow Natural Disaster recaptures. Let's see if I can actually do that.
Oh, when you're in the air, I mean.
Ah, okay. Yeah, that makes
Because
sense.
that recapture animation is so long.
But it's
you'll
like
still be able to do it
two-
in that case, but in all other
2
cases,
meters?
you won't be able to get it.
Okay.
Nice.
Yep, this is good. This is good.
Right. We reduced the wall crash
Expected-
damage. on
expected nerf,
Aghanos, to 48. It used to be 60. Now these values are going to look wild because Arya doesn't heal potential damage. She has way less health than other characters. But
Right.
you have to trust me. This does less damage, a lot less damage, like 25% less.
25? Oh, wow. That's a huge nerf, right?
We also reduced the damage per hit for
Yeah.
heavy payload assault. That's this guy right here. To 2 per hit. It used to be 8. And that sounds more drastic than it is, but that's because of how many hits it does and the way scaling works in the game. So it still adds a significant amount of damage to Unbreakable
Mixed feelings.
Wall Crash.
Why? Because you're
Just a
playing
bit less than
Aghanos?
before. So let's
You
see.
did crazy
if I can
damage
do
with the
one of
walls.
these combos here. Something like that. No, I need to do Stomp Walk, right? The damage values are going to look nuts on Arya, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
She has a million potential damage ready.
yeah. I couldn't fit the jump back there.
Okay. Well, we get it, right?
I'm not going to demo this too many times because I haven't played in a while.
Excuses.
Yeah, I missed the follow-up, but it does a lot less. I'm going to
Okay,
stop
okay.
doing
We,
that.
we believe him, right?
Yeah, I think hitting the unbreakable or hard to breakable stuff makes a lot of sense. That's like kind of the most frustrating thing to deal with now.
Yeah. Speaking of frustrating things, this move. We added 7 frames of stop time when you block this. The projectile
really?
part specifically, to make it a little bit more clear when it's your turn to press a button.
Oh,
and
okay,
actually,
right,
I think
right.
Arya is one of the characters who can punish this from lots of ranges. Whoops.
It
I'm
stays
trying
on
to
the
do
ground
two
longer,
of
right?
those.
Huh? Kimbu plays rejoicing at
I
the
can't
thought
get
of Agonos nerf.
Oh well.
Well, Kimbu is also one of the characters
but yeah, there's a
that
bit more time there, so it's
is going
more
to have
clear what
changes.
it's
So interesting,
Which is very
interesting,
nice.
interested about the
This is
the
a really
Kimbu
big one for Aghanos as well. We reduced the block stun time on a few of his jumping attacks so that if they hit on the way up, they're more negative and sometimes punishable. So jumping hard punch, if you hit this on the way up, like that, you actually may get hit.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
nice.
it's the same with jumping hard kick. If you hit this on the way up, spacing was bad there. You might get punished or hit on that as well. So you're gonna have to hit those buttons a little later
Yep.
if you want to get that same advantage you used to have. Press it more, at the peak, which is a pretty big change because Aghanos is very hard to anti-air because he can put those buttons out on the way up in a lot of cases.
Yep.
And in this case, if
That
you
was
do
the case.
you're going to be in trouble.
Thanks, devs.
We also
Well, so
adjusted
far
the
good
amount of
changes I
pushback
see, and
opponents
the
receive
nerfs
when
are
blocking
also
Peacemaker
like the
attacks,
buffs are also
so
like
you won't
interesting.
be
Right?
sliding full screen anymore. Let's take a look at that.
Time
as
for
well.
bed. Hey, see
So
you,
this used to
Astronaut.
just like
Thanks for
really set
stopping
the
by.
level, sliding, and now they don't slide so much anymore.
Oh, but they're not going to
Big
nerf
change,
her.
especially the projectile one used to really fling people back.
She will get buffs. No worries.
Wow.
A little bit.
That's so
Big
different.
change.
Wait, what did you change here?
And that is it for Aghanos. He can be really
missed the last
frustrating
one,
to fight
so-
against, and we always intended for him to be a bit weaker and only shine in the hands of specialist players. Over time, these specialist players have taken Aghanos so far that there's a solid argument for Aghanos being one of the top 5 strongest characters in the game. With many of the game's other strongest characters getting a little weaker, we didn't want to end up in a situation where Aghanos was the undisputed
tier.
best. So hopefully these changes make fighting against him feel a little bit more fun and reasonable.
Yes. Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yes.
Have a quick prediction from Flash.
Sure.
Our Saberwolf players.
The Flash.
Saberwolf is going to destroy Aghanos.
We'll see. We'll have to see how it goes. I did
Yes,
see.
I'm excited about that because when you showed me these changes, I was very happy because I get just mangled by the beat stick in particular by Aghanos. So I'm really
Yeah, it'd
happy.
be really hard to get in.
All right, let's see the
Yeah, but
Arya
I think your
changes.
prediction on the long tail on this is, I think we'll see that. Those specialists, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
see
we'll
how
come
it
up with
goes.
new stuff.
I
No
should really
worries,
in
right?
trouble when some of these guys show up with these specialized Aghanoses.
Yeah,
Show
I don't know
up.
if he's still going to be top 5 or not. It's hard for me to say. I'm not even sure I agree he was top 5 before, but some people thought so, and that's interesting.
I was gonna say Latalis seems very, very hype about his potential still.
We turned from the stone god back to broccoli
Like the
man.
stream's chopping out again. Should I reset it?
Is it? It's not that choppy.
Derek, what do you think?
I don't think it's like really choppy. Like, okay, the frame rate could be better, but
Okay. Let me just refresh it real quick. Can't hurt.
be right back. Look at this. I need this wallpaper. This looks slick.
It's purple and gold. Yeah, Aghanos is. I think hitting the unbreakable stuff makes a lot of sense. But
Let me
especially
go
we haven't seen nerfs
and
to,
where is
like,
it?
or changes rather to like the other strong characters. Like Arya's on the screen, and you guys know who else is coming later down the line. So I'm very curious to see the other changes.
Yeah. Oh,
Purple.
well, I lost your feed on my Discord side.
The character select screen is just Chef Kiss. Yeah, I like the changes as well there.
Okay,
Let me
cool.
see. I just
All right, back to
image,
Sorry
image,
about that,
image.
All right, for Cinder, I just have one small change for fixing some of his frame data on counter hits with his punch buttons. They were a little messy, so those do the proper amount on counter hit now as well. And let's talk about Arya. We reduced the damage on all of Arya's enders by 1 to 2 points per hit. It's not a huge dramatic change, but she's widely regarded as the hardest character to break, so we felt this was fair. This change does not affect her shadow enders or body swap enders. So we'll just take a look.
Hold up.
26% for a level 3 there.
So, okay. We got ourselves a new background.
Let's do a level 4.
Oh, yeah.
Under, 36%.
I broke the stream? No,
So
no,
it
no.
definitely takes her damage down a tiny bit.
All
All
right.
right. Shotgun knee ender as well. Check that out. 36%. Yeah. All right. We reduced the pushback when blocking Crescendo to add risk to and to make the frame data matter more. So in particular, the light version of this is -7 on block, and we haven't changed that, but she would bounce so far out of range that pretty much nobody could punish that.
Ah.
And now
Yeah,
she
yeah,
stays
yeah.
a lot tighter to you after this move.
I remember for
A lot
Orchid,
riskier.
it's
I
like
believe
pretty
this
hard to
applies
punish
a lot of the air
Arya.
versions of the move as well. She does not bounce back as far. So these moves are just quite a bit more risky.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's a good change.
Yeah, a lot of the moves got stuff like this, right? So
Yeah. Another
We're
one
just
like
getting
that, her
away with
jumping
stuff,
medium kick
right?
also got
yeah,
adjusted.
yeah.
We reduced the distance she pushes herself away from you, but we increased the vertical distance, so she bounces up
Hollywood
a
got
lot higher
nerfed.
after doing this move.
You mean Hollywood
And,
sleep?
that's going to leave her in a precarious position if she's not smart about how she uses this, or waits till she get a little bit lower
No more
in
YOLOs.
order to make sure there's enough stun to cover her. So a lot easier move to deal with now as well. We made some adjustments to the drone assist calls. The drone assist calls now leave the drones punishable for 30 frames longer than before. So let's check that out.
Yo,
real
no
quick.
more YOLO
We
drone
got
stuff?
the blade drone. Let's do the base one first. So that's out there for quite a bit longer.
Oh,
So-
yeah. Oh, yeah, Rash.
time to
We were
smack
still
it.
waiting for Rash and the nurse.
And the
They removed
blade
Cannonball
drone,
completely.
lots of time to smack that as well.
Hey,
Big
what's happening?
change. And then a
Oh.
really big one is the
Oh.
booster drone. Actually, this one
Let's
goes behind
go.
you in a lot of cases. So you would block this one.
Rash
it
is
would end up
next.
behind you,
Yeah, drone YOLO
that.
stuff.
and then it would fully recover, and then fly home. And while it was flying home, it was invincible. So what we did about this one was we made it so that
You
when
can
it's
punish
flying
it
home,
now.
it's not invincible, and you can actually tag it on the way home.
Right. Okay, good.
these are big. I mean, I'm guessing it slows down how fast you can call the assists, right? Because there's extra recovery on them.
Right, it's 30 frames longer before they get home before she can call them again. So
Right.
big change for her. She's gonna have to work quite a bit harder to.
Who's that Brazilian dude, or the guy
But
from
as a
South
small
America
buff,
that plays...
which is a buff and an
plays
nerf at the
Arya.
same time.
He had a crazy Arya.
We made her sword drone launch you quite a bit higher, and that's because
think the gamer tag was something
after
with
we
a
made the
K.
change, before we made this launch
Forgot to
higher,
say.
it was punishable on hit. The sword would launch you. You
Or
would fall,
Extreme
get up, and
Zombie.
punch
Ooh, we
the
pissed.
sword.
He also had
before
like
it
crazy
got combo,
combos with
which just
Arya.
felt really bad for the Arya player. But because of this, it actually opened up some nice new juggle combos for her.
Was it Brazilian, or maybe it was from
Before the
Chile?
same
I don't know.
players
It was from
explore.
South America, man.
I don't have any good ones, but you get the idea.
There was a very
You
good
get some cool
player.
stuff going off of that, which is nice.
Cool.
So yeah, Arya's gonna have to work harder.
Rash
to
has been
cover
convicted
her
for the
assist
crime. He
balls,
shall
and
today
to use
face
assist
the
balls to
punishment.
Cover herself. Her looping pressure will loop a little more
Not
slowly.
Alex V will
all
be
that kind of
pissed.
stuff.
Yeah.
But he knew
Makes
this
sense.
was coming, right?
All right, next up, her medium and heavy shotgun blitz moves. That's these guys.
Lemon Hunter. No, not that.
They used to low crush on frame 1.
I think it was Jeremy
Now
Cotto.
the medium one, low
yeah, yeah,
crush
yeah,
is
yeah,
on
yeah.
5,
CQL.
and the heavy on frame 4. So the light one was always 6, so now they go 6, 5, 4. It just seemed way too powerful to have such a difficult to punish move work as a low crush so quickly, and this adjustment's going to weaken Arya's defense against lows
Yep.
considerably. Next up, another adjustment for the Shotgun Blitz special moves. We added more hit stop on block to the first hit of these. So there used to be 10 across the board. Now it's 14.
Bro's a
16,
combo
18,
guy. Yeah, I know.
medium, heavy.
Like when he
Despite
was
being
like
2 hits,
first
the move has
arrived
been
on the
notoriously
scene,
hard to shadow counter.
he was like
compared to
overwhelming
other
a
similar
lot of
moves.
people.
So now it's a
Nobody
bit easier on
knew
the
how
light
to
version,
deal
and
with
it's
him.
Even easier if she uses
Even the
heavy.
pro
So
players.
here's the light one, medium, and heavy.
He did stuff nobody did with Arya.
Quite easy to shadow counter the heavy one on reaction now.
Nice.
Before, which was very, very difficult.
Nice.
That's
a great
also a
change.
huge change for her. And this
Yeah.
move still has very low whiff recovery. She's still going to use it a lot, so just jump in. And,
Okay,
and
good,
close the
good,
distance
good.
Behind an assist or
No
whatever.
more loops. No more safe stuff.
But yeah, I don't think you're going to get
Or at least
free
punishable
shotgun
stuff,
pressure,
right?
against people who are paying attention and have enough meter to shadow counter, which is great.
Yeah, doing shotgun 700 times in a row and backdash shotgun, backdash shotgun. It's
Yeah,
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 exactly.
much more manageable. Yeah.
Yeah. So Arya is meant to be a powerful character. You know, she carries some of the highest risk in the entire game. If she loses body, she loses options permanently, and matches can snowball against her really harshly. So over time, the strongest Arya players have proven that mitigating this weakness is not only quite possible, but it can leave opponents feeling like they don't have any answers at all. The above changes, they're going to leave Arya in a very strong position, which is intended, but she'll need to play a bit more thoughtfully to not leave herself open or her drones open to counter.
Yeah, he's very strong by
I do
nature.
expect her to
so-
still be up there in the rankings, but require more thought and more patience.
Yeah, just like Fulgor, right? People need to be more thoughtful and
Definitely a character that needed a little tuning. On some of
Agreed.
the
like
more,
slowing down,
pressure
right?
aspect.
Interesting
Yeah.
overall. Yeah, yeah. So far,
I was at 720. Want me to switch to 1080?
I like all the changes. Like this character select screen. Come on.
Oh yeah, the in-game is 1080. Yeah.
Nice. Can play to get my hands on it, right? They didn't announce when the
Moving
patch
on,
is
we got
going to be
Kim.
released. Is it rash time? Kimbu! Ice water, come on.
And Tush.
Tush.
Hey, Adam.
Yes.
I want to give your voice a break for a second, right before you get into this flow. Let me just. There's been a lot of questions around the additions and stuff because a lot of people came in late, or maybe I just didn't go through it clear enough. But a really great question came in. What about Game Pass KI? And I just wanted to just clarify. Hey, if you already have KI via Game Pass, the edition is just getting swapped out to Anniversary Edition, so you'll have it if you already have Game Pass.
Okay,
and then
I have Game Pass.
all these balance updates are all free in the base
But shut
game
up.
of KI, so there's no world where the balance updates aren't in whatever version you're playing. So
Right.
anyway,
They
I
didn't
just wanted
change
to
Kim
clear
Woo's
up with
face
that really quick
in-game,
to
right?
alleviate any concerns about Game Pass.
I appreciate it. It gave me time to take off that shirt. I was getting way too hot.
Yeah.
Keith was getting
All right.
way too hot.
Move on to Kim Woo. So because of Sonic Dolphin's performances with Kim Woo, we've decided to nerf this character into the ground.
Into the
I'm
ground.
absolutely kidding. She got all buffs.
Yeah.
All right. So
Ice water
we
was like
increased
scared
Kim's
there.
forward and backward walk speeds by 15%. She was already pretty fast, so she's very
No!
nimble now.
Ice!
I think suits kind of the small character aspect of her. This is going to help her play grounded footsies with the best of them. She has some really good buttons as well, especially these ones: medium punch, medium kick, and heavy kick. Really great buttons.
Walk speed
We also
buffs.
increased her jump gravity to make her jump arc a bit less floaty. This makes her very strong set of jumping attacks much
Let's
more
see it.
threatening. But if you had any safe jump timings in the past, you may have to rethink them. I mentioned that to Sonic Dolphin.
Probably.
He laughed. See the safe jumps. Ha.
Let's see her
I guess
jump
his
then.
character didn't have any, so her jump is Jago's jump now. It's basically the same gravity as Jago's jump. So it's not one of the best jumps in the game. It's pretty middle of the road, but she's not so.
She
floaty.
jumps high, it seems, right?
But because of that,
Not
some of her jump
floaty jump.
attacks, which are really good. We
Is
had
that
to make
noticeable,
their
like,
hits on and blocks
Ice?
down a little bit
Is
less,
this like-
kind of similar to what we did with Aghanos.
What- your
to make
thoughts
sure
on
these
this?
weren't too bad, right?
play
So
her.
if she does some of these attacks.
No more floaty
on
jump.
the way up.
Really?
it's
That actually
okay,
helps.
This isn't so tough for me. She's gonna get punished on the way.
Yes,
up.
for you.
So you're gonna have to hit these a little bit deeper to make sure that they do what you want them to do. And the moves that
It's
got that
noticeable.
adjustment are
Okay,
jumping
okay,
light
okay.
punch, jumping medium punch, jumping heavy punch, and jumping light kick. The medium kick and the heavy kick are not touched. Those are the same as they were.
Alright.
It's just because of the hitbox is an active time on those. All right,
You
so
think
this one I can't
so?
demo against
Walk
Tusk, but
speed
you have to just trust me.
and
All normal versions
No
of the Dragon
floaty.
Kick now ignore armor. That's this guy right here.
What?
This is a unique ability for Kim. It's specifically added to the
Ignore
game to help
armor?
her matchup against Aghanos, which is widely regarded as one of the most lopsided matchups in the game.
Oh,
little something
really?
now for
You
that.
can really play against
You also
Aghanos
increase
now,
the travel
Ice.
speed and total distance traveled by the light dragon kick. This makes it a stronger whiff punish tool.
Ignore armor.
Moves
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
quick
yeah,
right now.
yeah.
Moves pretty
Are you
quick.
kidding me?
Somebody's, walking around. just
Ignore
doing this,
armor?
You can usually punish
Why don't
it with that.
Orchid has a move that ignores armor?
But because that ended up being very strong,
That is strong.
we had to
Yeah.
decrease the damage on the
You're
light dragon
back.
kick. So I'm sure Kim players already noticed.
Top
that,
tier Kim.
This used to deal 30 damage, now it deals 20. Big drop. Used to be 35 on counter hit, and now it's 25.
Oh, like
And because
damage
of that first
nerfs
hit
though.
multiplier and the way the game works, that means that a raw light dragon kick now does 40 damage instead of 60, and a counter hit does 50 instead of 70. But considering all of the extra properties this got with the distance and the armor break, it's a really great tool for her. And we did not drop the damage of the medium or heavy version of this, doing what they used to, because they're still a lot harder to hit. One thing I do want to note, though, because of the extra distance on this, if you block this standing, it's going to be what you remember. But a lot of times what happens with this new version of the move is if you block it crouching, she just flies over your head. And she has a lot of recovery. You can still punish her, but you need to be ready for it, because if you're not, you might try to hit jab or something, and she's way over here.
Right.
So
right,
if you hit the right button, though, you'll hit her and you'll be fine.
What's up, Doughy boy?
That's really funny. Looking.
Doughboy.
Yeah.
I don't think I've
it's
seen
here.
a move like you block like that and then still go over someone's head. Like I
Yeah.
can't think of a fighting game move like that.
It just
Unique,
ended up being
baby.
like a goofy interaction that we kind of thought was cool.
Yeah.
The medium and heavy dragon
Was
kick
Ram
moves
one of
now
the 10
count as
characters
being
that
in air
didn't
one frame
get
sooner than
touched at
before.
all?
The only reason for this is it corrected that bug Sonic Dolphin would always do on main stage at Counterbreaker, where he'd make Kim like teleport across the screen.
Oh, that move.
Looking and I wanted it gone, so it's gone.
Psst.
Love that.
Yeah.
I think that's the
And that's it for Kim.
soundy
I
special.
think it's not a huge amount of things for Kim, but that walks
Are you happy, Icewater?
wild.
I'll be happy.
And,
Walk speed,
I do think
non-floaty.
The whip punish game with this move, if you're paying attention,
Right.
is among the best in the game.
Break armor?
Definitely
Crazy.
put a lot of attention into it. It's very good.
Yeah. And the nice thing is for Kim players who don't want to play footsies, you can just pretend you're trying to whiff punish when you do that move and then just do it.
I wonder what they're gonna do
And
with
Dragon Cancel
Tusk.
it if you have one.
Yeah, that's also good too.
Yeah.
What happens when you dragon cancel it when someone's like crouching? Do you like just go flying?
Well, I guess I
Yeah,
need
that's
to grab
crazy,
it,
right?
so
That's so
this-
powerful. Oh, what was the question?
I have no idea. I'm very curious.
Oh, dragon canceling when she's like floating over?
It
Oh,
stopped
okay.
me in front. If I wait till I pass over, then I just move
Oh
forward.
god. Okay.
Whee! Okay.
All
Not
right,
too
all right, all right.
wild.
Yeah, I was just
If
curious.
she doesn't cross back over you or something.
Yeah, if she just went zip the other way, like double left right mix up.
Yeah.
That's Omen stuff, right?
And then we
Omen
fixed a
stuff.
couple counter hit frame data issues for her as well.
Hmm.
Next up is Tusk. We only got one major change for Tusk, which is that we reduced the cost of his Berserker cancels during Instinct by 30% to make his Instinct more threatening. So he can do his Berserker cancels. I'm doing that on Gamepad. Wow, I'm the best. Okay. I'm not a Gamepad player. That was very impressive to myself. But you can get a lot more of those cancels out now. So I think Tusk is actually a really
Tusk!
good character. And if you've ever like fought Lataluses, this change probably scares you a little bit. But just 30% more time in that mode is probably pretty scary. But yeah, that's it for Tusk.
Okay, good.
His
Don't
instinct's
change
already
Tusk
very
too
powerful.
much, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is scary.
If they use
We
AI
got
to
some fixes
balance
on
everything?
inconsistent counter hit stuff as well.
Wait, why is he
Arbiter
going
did as
out of the
well.
game? Oh, he's going back
That's
into
not
the game.
directly a balance change. And now,
He won Tusk.
the moment you've
Oh
all
my
been
God!
waiting for.
Arbiter can reload.
Finally made it far enough down the list to reach Rash.
Delete
he must have gotten
Rash.
lots of
Oh,
brave
Gargus
buffs,
buffs?
He
Maybe?
has a page and a half of nerfs.
Okay.
Page and a half!
That sounds about right, yeah.
Yeah.
Delete, delete, delete!
All right, let's do this thing.
Well, it's still in the game. They removed Cannonball,
The moment
and
you've all
they
been waiting for
slowed
is
him
here.
down for 30%.
Wrecking ball adjustments. Let's start there. Everyone's least favorite move.
Mm-hmm.
We've removed armor entirely from the air version of Wrecking Ball.
No more
Just the air
armor!
version. Rash players were able to use this to completely circumvent the risk of approach and start their offense far too easily.
Let's go!
Wrecking Ball, both air and ground versions,
Right.
now have heavy attack priority. Used to be special attack priority. So because of the lack of armor on the air version, this means beating it cleanly is much more
possible.
reasonable to do, which I will now fail to do multiple times in a demo. Oh, I'm gonna get it.
Woohoo!
Oh no. Doing two
Almost- the
controls. I'm no
spacing.
Sakurai, you know. There, got it.
Right,
Three tries.
right,
That's
right.
not too bad. So that's a big deal. We've
That is a
also
big deal.
reduced the block stun on the Wrecking Ball moves to 10 frames each. It used to be 18 frames on the ground version and a criminal 24 frames on the air version. That had to have been a typo. Why would I do that? So yeah, if you block these moves now, I did not mean to jump on the player 2 controller. Give me a moment here. You have a lot more time to kind of scoot under or throw out an anti-air because the block stun time is so much less. So you just have a lot more time to
Right.
make a response. Rash still has the luxury of being able to do this, forward moving, really good move and still attack afterwards and all that kind of stuff. But you have to use that move a lot more thoughtfully now, especially the air version, which
Yay!
has no armor.
Wonder what like Alex V is thinking
Cool.
right now.
All right,
Like
standing
he's
heavy kick.
expecting
We've
like
added
nerves.
6 frames of recovery time to the standing
It will
heavy kick. You can
totally
actually probably
change his
see
game
the
plan,
animation looks
right?
A little different. He kind of holds his leg up a little longer at the end.
What is that?
I like it.
Yeah.
So we've added a little bit of recovery time to the standing heavy kick, but we also added 6 frames of
That,
block stun and
like,
stun time so that the frame advantage.
Standing
is the
heavy
same
kicks
as
is
before.
crazy good. The range of it,
But it's gonna make whiff punishing this move like a lot more reasonable.
right?
You can like see it and then smack him, which you really.
There's like
should
extra
do.
animation when he
Very
like
cool
retrieves
punish.
it. What's up,
In addition
Raccoon?
to that, we've also
Venino?
opened the cancel window.
What did you miss? A lot. We have
Now the
Orchid
cancel
buffs,
between
man.
Frames 19 and 21. Used to
They
be
buffed
between
YOLO
19 and
slide.
30.
Every YOLO slide
It's
is
also
like
a little bit
you can't
criminal.
even see it with your eyes.
And we also
it
reduced
just
the hit
happens.
stop that this move inflicts by 3 frames. The result, hit confirming.
Yeah,
standing
Alex will
heavy
be
kick
good. No worries.
Is much more challenging.
Hey,
I'm not
there's
gonna
not
say
a
it's
Jaggle
impossible.
anymore, right?
Much harder though.
Right.
Most of
He's
the
in
time
the
when I
street.
try it,
Of
I
course.
do think somebody who's really paying attention could probably still do it. But pretty hard.
Right.
Next up, we added 5 frames of recovery time to the overhead.
Your
hammer
uppercut with Jago. Oh my god.
So that also makes this a little easier to whiff punish.
That buff is crazy. That is like the craziest buff that I've
We
heard so
adjusted
far.
the block stun, so it's still -2
Right.
on block. But we didn't adjust the hit
We
stun
wanna see a
time 'cause
lot
it
of
crumple
DPs.
recaptures, so you can already link whatever you want off of this. It's not a big deal.
80% juggles incoming. Oh my
just-
god.
Just trying to make it a little bit more whiff
I
punish.
definitely
so we
won't
can
try
just
jumping
so
against
wherever
Jago.
it goes easily. We reduced the damage on the opener versions of Battering Ram to reduce his corner and instinct combo damage a bit.
Did they nerf
These
the
used to
bike? They
do
need to nerf
10,
the bike.
13, and
right?
16 damage for light, medium, and heavy. Now it's 8, 9, and 10. So less damage on these. Gargos's wings are in the way, of course, but
Yeah.
we've drastically reduced the wall splat range of Rash's
What up,
Wrecking
Mr.
Ball
Ultra?
Ender.
No ultra buffs
It
though.
pushes slightly less than half as far as it used to.
Red place.
This
Thank you for
was the
follow.
best wall splat ender in the game. He
Wait, what?
pushed you back, and he was flying at you while he pushed you back.
Right.
So he pushed you back extra far so he could fly with you. He would go like 2 full screen lengths and get wall
Yep.
splats from anywhere.
Not anymore. Okay.
After the nerf, this is still the best wall splat ender in the game.
Well,
just way
to buff him, of course, Retro
45%
Games.
of what it used to be. So, take a look. He lands a bit farther from you now.
Why? Why
we
this
had to adjust
music?
the frame
I don't
advantage so he'd be
understand.
even and not be punishable if he didn't hit
I
the wall.
disabled
Before, he
the
actually was punishable
stuff.
if he didn't
Well,
hit the
anyways.
wall. But way less far than
Not sure.
before. Still probably one of the best.
Oh, it's so short.
If not the best.
It's so
wall
short
splats.
after that. Ender.
It was wild before for sure.
Mm-hmm.
He took you way too far.
Yep. His throw now deals 35 damage. Used to be
Instead of?
45.
Okay.
Still drop there. His throw
Swell
has the
nerf.
added benefit of being able to reposition or change directions, or even delay the release to combo into instinct projectiles. It just didn't make sense for it to do so much upfront damage, so now it does less.
Okay. But you can still juggle
It
in
also
instinct.
lowered the damage of every hit of all of his ender types by 1 to 2 points. Rash is a highly mobile character with many reasonably safe ways to
Throw
open,
nerf.
open
Yeah,
up
yeah.
opponents, so his damage output was just a little bit too high for the risk factor. So we'll do a level 4 ender here. Take a look. It's just a little
40.
bit of a decrease, not huge. 42%.
42.
Probably
Okay,
like
okay.
46 before, maybe 40, 45.
Yeah, that's minor. That's minor, right?
And then this next one's pretty big. We reduced the damage on Shadow Big Bad Boot.
Oh, that
It
one.
used
That
to
was
do
huge
30
damage.
It used to do 52 total. Now it does 32. Wow. A little bit less on block.
Oh, that's like
as well.
20%
It seems
decrease.
absurd in retrospect that this move was hit so much harder
Yeah.
than, say, a Jago Shadow.
20%
uppercut,
less damage.
Despite covering so much more space on the
They gave the
screen.
damage
So
to
much more
Jago
damage,
now, right?
Being way easier to confirm into instinct or for safety or pressure. This change is also going to reduce Rash's juggle
40%?
cash outs considerably,
Really?
forcing him to risk a more breakable
40
recapture.
Oh, yeah, 40.
In order to score a more
Wow.
optimal grounded ender for damage. So let's take a look. That's a lot less damage on the Shadow Big Bad.
That's like no damage. That's like no damage.
Yes.
Yeah,
So,
Iceman, no
that's a lot of
damage
rash
on,
moves. I went through 'em
like
pretty
no
fast.
changes on
It's going to
Isaka.
seem like a lot.
That was
In
expected though.
practice, he's still a menace. He easily circumvents a lot of the game's zoning. He has strong pressure, and he can deal difficult to break damage. So let's hope his overall risk match.
I wonder what that means if you do like in a combo
wouldn't
at
be
level
surprised
4
if he's
Ender
still pretty good.
with that Shadow Ender.
I expect the hit.
Deserved.
Because his tools are great.
Doughboy, you're pissed about.
Weaker in a bunch of different ways. His tools are really strong.
Yeah. So next up is Gargos.
All right, that was Rash.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna give you a recap on the Rash reaction. I'm
55
sure you
max.
know how that went. I think there's Alex V is probably writing a song right now about it.
Alex
let
is
me
writing
just
a song
answer
about
one of
it.
the questions that keeps coming up. Crossplay.
Where-
So-
with PlayStation?
We didn't really cover that, but I'm just going to go ahead and throw it out there because it keeps getting pinged. Someone asked me to do this. So yeah, crossplay is still there. You can still play Exhibition and Lobbies crossplay Steam to Xbox/PC, which is Windows.
But not ranked.
But ranked, there was no ranked crossplay. We did not turn that on. That's not something that we can do. So it is
not something they can do.
Xbox/PC ranked as always, and then Steam is its own ranked ecosystem. So that
Too bad.
is that one. I appreciate everybody asking that question, and hopefully that helps.
It's technically not possible. It's probably
Right, moving
Steam
on,
that has
Gargos.
like a weird
Arguably a
ecosystem
character
that is
doesn't
like
need a nerf, but this is one of those things that was just really frustrating
Not
for folks,
fixable.
so we wanted to tone it down a little bit, and that's the portal punches. So we reduced the damage on light portal punch to 7, used to be 10, a little bit less damage on those. We also, let me switch sides so you can see the life bar. We also reduced the block stun inflicted by all of the portal punches by 5.
Steam
So they do
cheats?
a little bit less block stun than before.
Right.
And that means you're
Yeah,
going to be
it's a
able to
Steam thing.
press a button to tag a minion or dash or something like that much sooner after this if you want to try and get in on Gargos. Again, I don't think he's like a super successful character that needed a nerf, but this was just one of those things that was really frustrating for a lot of the player base, and we wanted to tone it down a little bit.
okay. Well, fair. Seems fair.
Gotcha. Man, those Rash changes. I love the people in the chat who are like, Rash is dead, and then also Rash is still top 1. I saw
Yeah.
both.
Rash is still
both.
top 1.
I have no idea how it's going to shake out, but my
Yeah.
suspicion is he's probably still reasonably strong.
Yeah.
People will adjust regardless. Oh, Rob?
All right, let's check out General Rom and Idol.
Two big guys, huh?
All right, so for General Rom, we just have one change. I think it's a pretty big one, but it may sound small to some folks. We'll see.
General.
All versions. Let me turn him on human real quick. All versions of the Crow Rush. That's this guy right here, the running grab. They now attempt to grab 1 frame after the run ends. Used to be 5. So you see that part of the animation where he stops and like reaches for you? Used to be 5 frames after that started that he would grab you, and now it's 1 frame after that starts that he grabs you. So the issue we're running into is that Krill Rush, this move, is armored. It has the Krill armor on it. But that armor would end right as he started to try to grab you. And because there was a 5-frame window in there between the running ending and the grab, we would either have to give him another instance of armor there because of the way the game is built, so he'd get refreshed armor for 5 frames, or we had to shorten that window. Otherwise, he would just be left unarmored completely for 5 frames, which made the move just feel so much harder to use. It's also
I'm just
not
thinking
the
if,
highest
like, a lot of
reward
ROM
move. You
players
just get poisoned,
play that
a tiny
move.
bit of damage, and
Use
you're
that
in like
move.
a +4 situation, which is nice, but it just felt like this move could stand to be a little stronger.
Maybe now it will be
So
used
that's the change
more
we
often,
made.
right?
It's a lot harder to kind of jump out of these on reaction, and you certainly are not going to find times where you mash.
Oh,
down
you
and
mean
start
like
to blow
MK1?
the armor for no reason. Again,
Yeah, I think they were
this is a
pretty
bigger change than that
cautious
sounds like it is,
on not
but
breaking
it'll
the
be hard to know
game,
until we
so
see ROM players like put it into practice.
that's
This
why
is
they
something that
did
even a
something
move
like
they
walk
use
speed,
ROM
because
players
that
will
is something
already
that you
get
can
rid of. Now it's a
easily
pretty good move.
add or decrease without breaking the
Cool.
mechanics of the game, right? So
Moving on to Idol.
I'm very curious. Yeah.
Yeah.
Idol. Fix the
so we
meatballs,
made
the
some
meteor storm.
Adjustments to his self face punch. I think I need to change some options here. I need to probably turn
Self
off
face
regenerating
punch?
health. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, right? I haven't seen any crazy
So
stuff
we
that were
reduced
like,
the odds of
what?
changing modes after using the wake up.
That's
self
Kenmu
face
armor
punch,
break, though.
Significantly, it used to take I think a worst case of 4 punches, and now I think the worst case I've seen is 9 punches.
Kimbu
to
will
change.
be very dangerous in the new
We've
patch.
increased the self damage done by this as well from 5 to 10. So I'll demo this in a second, but Idol is 2 characters in one, each with their own favorable and difficult matchups. But unfortunately, Idol players are finding it too quick and too low risk to stay in the mode they want to stay in, which heavily circumvents the intended weakness. So to combat this, we took a pretty hard swing at the face punching mechanic to make players think twice about using it to stay in a favorable match.
Oh, it takes damage?
Hitting myself. You can see how much damage.
Oh,
I'm
really?
doing. I got
Wow.
3 that time, which is very uncommon.
Okay.
2 that time.
Okay.
Wow, this is just the worst demo.
Fair.
4 or 5 that
Deserved.
time.
Deserved.
He is punching. He is very strong though.
There, I took 6 that time. But the way it works, right, is like every time you do a thing that could change him, like a special move or whatever, it rolls the dice to see if he'll change, and if it doesn't, it adds a percentage chance
That's
to that.
yeah,
so it's more
that's
likely
like
to happen next time.
people really
And
need
face
to
punch is the
adjust,
same
you
type
know,
of
their
thing. It
gameplay
adds a
with
little bit of
Idol now.
percentage and
So
rolls the dice for you real quick.
and
So
that
you're
is
still gonna
also
add a lot of
something
percentage
that
by just, like, doing these types
is
of moves, right? You just
like a
start special
common
moves, add
theme,
that percentage, and
like the
eventually
YOLO-ness
it's
or
a
the
punch.
how do you say
Work
it?
out. I'm getting really fast switches right
People
now.
getting
I'm just
away
really
with
favorable
just, you know,
RNG,
blender
but
stuff. People
you'll
need to
find
be
in
more
practice
cautious
it
on
actually
how they
takes quite a
attack.
bit
They
longer to
cannot
switch
just,
on
you know,
purpose in most cases.
do stuff. They need to think before they actually can execute stuff,
That's
right?
A lot of punches. Oh
So
my
it slows
Yeah,
down the
that's- Yeah, that's more
gameplay,
like it usually.
and it makes it more fair, more balanced, right?
Again, may the RNG gods be with you.
Right. Okay.
Next up, his Shadow Bolt Strike. I should probably turn Infinite Health back on. Whoops.
Okay, that's good.
His Shadow Bolt Strike is now fully invulnerable to projectiles only. It used to be fully
Shadow.
invulnerable on startup.
What is that?
And to be honest, nobody on the design team remembers making that invulnerable in the first place. So we'll chalk it up to a questionable decision from past us. Mage mode was not intended to have reversal options outside of this one, backwards telestrike. So in order to make sure that Mage mode has an answer to meaty projectile setups, we just kept the projectile invincibility on the first 14 frames of this.
Oh,
So
this
we're not going to be
one.
using
Okay.
that to get out of pressure as Mage anymore. Also,
That's good.
his
That was
Stomp
also
Strike has been
overspan.
adjusted. These used to be 0, +2, and +3 on block. Now they're -2, -4, and -6. So they
Aw.
still push you back quite a bit and all that, right? So you won't always get a punish on them.
Definitely fair.
But
Right.
it just didn't make sense for Mage mode to have up close pressure as good as the Stomp Strikes were enabling. So getting rid of that, along with getting rid of that invulnerable Shadow Bolt Strike, it's going to put Mage mode's weaknesses where they were always intended to be, which is that he's going to want to
Seems-
not
yeah,
be up
definitely.
close to opponents. He's going to want to zone.
Yeah. Yeah. The stomps were wild before.
Yeah, and that's it for Idol. Not a huge amount of changes, but I think in practice, they're
Who
gonna
do we
make
have
a pretty
left?
Big dents on the game plan.
Oh,
so that's something as well.
Eagle.
Yeah. I mean,
Eagle
he's quite a
nerfs
strong character.
incoming, right? That one is left.
It makes sense.
Shadow Jago.
And we're down to our last 2 characters. We got Eagle
Yeah.
and
Who else?
Shin Hisako.
Shin Hisako. Oh yeah, she was on the list, on my list for
Yeah.
not getting changed at all.
Idol in mage mode, bullying you so hard was definitely not.
Yeah,
fun.
yeah, yeah.
You're like, why am I being stomped to death?
Okay.
Yeah.
Please nerf the bird.
So I'm gonna do Shin Hisako first. I'll just put her on
Delete
player 2 because it's a little easier for me to control Eagle on arcade stick for various reasons. Okay, cool.
Okay, let's see it.
Shin Hisako, only one change on this character. I think this is a character loaded with untapped potential, but it was very clear that she had a real struggle in matchups.
Nobody
against
plays her,
zoners.
right?
And the change that we made was we made it so that her forward moving spirit orb moves twice as fast as it used to. So let's take a look. Forward moving spirit orb. That thing is cruising now.
No.
And of course, she can teleport to it at any time. She can unleash those in the
Not
air.
walk
It takes
speed.
a lot
This
less
one.
time for you to wait till it to get into a good position to teleport in, which is great. Additionally,
is
she
true,
has
yeah.
incredibly good walk speeds.
She already
And
has.
before you would
yeah.
put out one of these and just like, it'd be off screen already behind me.
right.
And you can't go full
remember
speed
that.
with them or anything like that. They are pretty fast, not that fast, but you can actually kind of like stay near it and be more threatening and just kind of poke these into a fireball whenever you want. And they
And
have
her
really good
backdash was
priority
like
against other
the
projectiles as
fastest,
well,
right?
So, they're good for an opportunity to blow through a projectile at the right distance and make something happen.
Okay.
I think it's a huge change for her, and I think it's going to.
It is because
the
you
matchups that
kind of had to play her very safely, but
because,
now
again,
she
I
can
think she's a
like
very,
get in your face, right?
rich
Just walk
character
behind
filled
her.
with untapped potential that was just really struggling because some of those matchups were just.
Might pick her up.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a really good change.
Yeah.
She probably needed to be able to schmoove a little bit more with it.
Yeah.
And yeah, watching her just get walled out. She's kind of a character where she either ran away and did stuff and she looked really good, or she just like couldn't get in and you're like, well,
Sucks to be you, right? Yeah, yeah.
All right, and then lastly, let's talk about Eagle. Eagle's
No more
another
Eagle.
character
We
teased
took
in
away the
trailer a
bird.
bit. He was the last character we ever released for the game, and as such, he had the least amount of time to get tweaks and adjustments and stuff. We made quite a lot of changes to him here with the goal of tuning him a bit more towards zoning and a bit away from lockdown. He still has a little bit of that though. To get him more in line with our original vision.
Took away his arrows.
So, you know, of all the characters, I think this is probably one of the bigger adjustments you'll have to make if you're an Eagle player.
Okay.
Yeah, the
First
mix is
up,
gone,
we added
definitely.
4 additional.
No more
frames
safe
of
counter
stop
breakers.
And hit stop to the bow spin, just like Fulgor's, just to make it a little easier to shadow counter. Not a huge deal.
What's up,
I guess I should
Jericho?
make her block it, right, so you can see it.
Or Mongolian
go.
Chop? What up?
All right, so next up, we lengthened. This is a huge mix of buffs and nerfs. They're not in any particular order. You'll know what's a buff and a nerf as I say it, for sure. But we lengthened the
You just came
recovery
in? Are you
time
following
that
the
bird
stream?
suffers after Sonic Screech and Bird Bomb actions. So that's this guy, Sonic Screech. You can wait to
You
see how
don't
long
like
it
this
takes
name?
for the bird to recover. When
It's
he
okay.
flashes, that's when I can use him again, right?
Wait, what?
So that's now 120 frames of recovery. Used to be, or sorry, 210 frames of recovery. Used to be 120. And the Bird
okay.
Bomb is now 180 frames of recovery. Used to be 100.
Oh, look at how long it takes before the bird gets back to his
actions.
place.
These particularly powerful bird actions.
Okay.
So you're gonna have to use these moves a bit more thoughtfully.
A bit
We
more
also
thoughtfully.
added 4 frames
That's the
of
theme, right?
block stun to each hit of the Sonic Screech to trigger Absolute Guard. Absolute Guard means that if you're blocking and you let go a block, you continue to block, right? So if I block that and I let go a block on Hisako, she's going to keep blocking it. And the issue here was Eagle would make you block the Sonic Screech and then just jump over you. And you would get hit every single time. Like that is just a really hard cross up to block. And in this case now, let's see if I can do it here. Oh, that's the wrong motion. Gotta let the bird
You tried to
reset.
jump there?
And there he goes. So now the Absolute Guard is going to save you. You're not going to get opened up completely
right.
for free every time you block the bird screech. But on the other side of that, you can't wiggle out either. That's a true block string now. You can't just like do a projectile and this little move to kind of scoot out of there. So it has a little bit of a buff to it as well. But I think overall I would consider it a nerf.
Definitely.
We also adjusted the Bird Bomb explosion area.
Yeah, I agree.
Hitbox on this to be both bigger,
About
like
Hisako.
taller, and hit closer.
They
to
didn't
you.
change her,
it's
so
harder
that's
to wedge
good.
yourself like in between the explosion and him, and just avoid it completely. It's his only defensive tool, and it was just too easy to jump over or get behind previously. And I think the longer recovery on the Bird Bomb also helps justify this change.
Yeah,
Yep.
that makes sense.
We also increased the damage on Bird Bomb. It used to be 14, now it's 20. We added some additional pushback to Bird Swoop. This is going to aid his zoning a lot.
What is bird
See, it
swoop?
kind of gives you a little shove when you block it. Very similar to Aria's
that one.
booster drone. And we've increased the damage on Bird Swoop from 10 to 15, so a little bit more damage into his zoning. Arrows don't hit that hard, but you can kind of throw out the bird. It's one of his lower
Yeah,
recovery.
this is like
actions
minor,
as
right?
well.
Hey, Woomeister, what's up, man?
Aid your zoning.
You're pool Fulgor. You will stay retired.
All right, so moving on. This
He's
is
still
my
good, no
favorite
worries,
buff
man.
For Eagle, I think. But we got some bird fling improvements. This move was
Wait, what?
just filled with issues that I wish I had caught back then. We corrected an issue where the game was not checking for the 3-kick input properly when pressing all 3-kick buttons manually, like on an arcade stick. So doing the bird fling on a pad with the shortcut 3-kick button felt great, but on stick it just didn't work most of the time. But that is fixed now. So if you're a stick user and an Eagle player, you're going to find getting these bird flings out if you use
Okay.
the 3-kicks manually to feel vastly more reliable, just so much more reliable. That's a nice change. There was another issue though. We fixed an input check, an issue where the input check after the bird fling could miss your button if you were too fast. So you do like bird fling and
This is
then
so
attack.
this is so
and
detailed.
you're
So
like,
it
oh, I
like
got it. And then the game's just like, no, you were too
explains
fast. Your
or
move's
like
not coming.
reveals that
And
they
you never
really
wanna be
did
punished for
some
being
heavy
too quick.
research
So we fixed
on.
that
Okay.
as well.
We're looking at
So
all
you
the
can see It's
code.
very easy to get these.
We're trying to
attacks
see
out
where we
now
can
and do your little,
find
you know,
any
your little Magneto
inconsistencies,
triangle
and
dash
then we
stuff.
kind of decide on if we are
Even
going to
ahead of
fix
you
it or
coming
not,
out
right?
time. Pretty
Nice.
easy to do. Feels so much better.
Jago
of course,
changes?
can do
Oh my
those off
God.
of his
His
flip as well. So you
DP
can
is like the
flip,
strongest in the game now, man.
You know, dash
You
and flip
don't
somebody
want
to
to
attack.
jump at Jago.
Like that kind of thing is pretty
Oh
cool.
god.
DP juggles are
We
going
could always do that. It
hurt.
just felt
Yeah.
unreliable to do it.
Yeah,
Feels a lot
definitely.
more reliable now.
You hit it like basically every
Don't
time
jump,
after the
exactly.
first couple.
Yeah, you just won't miss this anymore. We vastly increased the fling distances on all of the non-down directions for bird fling. And it's going to be a
Just
lot
don't
easier to
jump,
move
that's
fling
it.
to
Yeah,
move
yeah.
around the screen and kind
Glued
of
to the
use it
ground
aid
against
your
Jago.
zoning, right? So obviously the down ones are for offense or for trickery. you know, you're near somebody, you do one of these, you go low, you do, you know, jump over them and then come back and hit them, you know, typical
Oh,
Beware
Omen
Dash
stuff.
But the other ones are really interesting. This back one sends you about this far. The forward one sends you about that far. And then let's check up back. You can go up here and shoot an arrow from an interesting angle, right? The up one goes up pretty high. You can shoot an arrow from up really high now. And then,
Okay.
of course, the up forward one. And,
I wonder if it
you know,
will
if you
make
want to, you could
Eagle
probably do
more
something like
popular
that.
because not a lot of
Almost
people
kick somebody from
play
full screen.
Eagle.
Uh,
I don't like his game
you were
style
so
or
inclined. I
gameplay
almost made
either.
it.
So,
Yeah.
But yeah, he can move quite a bit. The bird fling just feels a lot better. Just feels so much better to use, and I'm looking forward to seeing people kind of mix this into their movement.
No more
and
safe
so
counter
to
breakers,
cover
right?
new angles and
Was it
make
covered?
the character feel a lot more threatening from a distance than he used to. Since his lockdown is definitely a lot worse now that all of his pressure strings involving this have longer delay before the next loop and all that kind of stuff.
longer delay.
And
That
then
doesn't mean
lastly,
it's not
we made an
shadow
adjustment to his
counterable.
instinct mode. Eagle's instinct mode was widely recognized as the weakest
yet.
in the game, and worse than being the weakest, which would have been fine. It often feels like it gets in the player's way, which is really bad.
Alright.
So because some of his most oppressive lockdown has been weakened, we wanted to try to improve his instinct mode and make it worth using.
No
So here's what we did.
buffs.
Peck now deals an additional 10 frames of hit stun, time to grounded opponents. This is Peck when the bird attacks automatically afterwards. So you have a lot more time to attack again.
Oh my god, this is going to be
Peck is
so
now gonna
annoying.
Launch airborne opponents.
It's
into a
already
burst
annoying. Just watching it.
like that. So it's a little easier to do something. So the standing hard kick always launches, right? So if you kind of have Peck on deck and
Peck's
it's,
on
in
deck.
the right spot, you can launch somebody up with that.
Oh,
and as
juggles.
A reminder, you can cash
That
out
reminds
those.
me of Orchid's Instinct,
And
where
we've increased
if
the
the
hitbox
cat
size
hits,
on Peck by
then
2x,
you go up
much
vertically,
larger.
right?
So
For
it
more
basically almost never
juggle
misses
potential.
now. And it would happen a lot before, especially against a
MK1
character
nonsense
smaller
right
than
here.
Sako, where the Peck would
It's not
just
that crazy,
not even
but-
touch her. She'd just be crouch blocking, and it would totally miss. And you can see
Yep,
now
yep, yep.
that it definitely hits. You can definitely put the pressure on. With
Yo, look at this.
which is very, very nice.
This looks way better. This looks way
so
more
much
fun too.
Yeah, and you can do, you can do cool combos with it,
Did it?
something like that, right? It's kind of fun.
Huh.
It feels good to do.
Okay.
This just makes it's a useful instinct mode now. I'm not gonna say it's like the top instinct mode or anything, but it's useful now. You'll actually want to use it and do some cool
Yeah.
stuff with it, which is awesome.
I imagine with like Kling and Peck and everything, you probably have some more stuff that you can do, and that's like fun. And also just doing buttons. It seems
And of
just
course-
better to like walk down. Yeah.
Yeah, it comes out when you jump too, so you can jump over people and do something like that. And because the hit stun's longer, you might actually get a combo off of it now, whereas before it was actually pretty hard to do. So that's a lot of potential there as well. I think overall, Eagle's probably a bit better than before, but less of a nightmare to fight against. Because
Yeah, I mean,
should
he
be
was-
doing his game
Yeah,
plan
especially the
more,
latter
less,
one, like the
pin
nightmare
you in the
part.
corner with
Woo!
infinite arrows and infinite birds.
The loops.
Yeah, he was really like
loops were
when he was
crazy.
going before, it was like miserable, but when he's not, it was like all right. But this looks like more the power shifted, right? Like he's like he's got access to strong tools and stuff and cool things to do, but it's not just like I do Screech and then I hop and I'm chilling. It's like such a he kind of did one thing really well before, and now it's
Yeah,
like okay.
exactly.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's
He
the
seems-
balance changes.
Nice. Yeah, I think most of the changes to me make the characters more interesting and less degenerate, because we like degenerate stuff in KI, but like
Less.
you don't want it to
degenerate.
be like this is the thing I do, this is the good thing. So yeah,
Exactly.
I like the changes. Makes a lot
Yeah,
of
hopefully
sense.
players' playstyles will shine a little bit better with some of these changes and some of the most frustrating stuff folks have been dealing with. Maybe even in some cases they quit the game because some of the stuff crossed the line for them personally, and so they said this was too frustrating.
Later.
Hopefully some of that stuff is toned down now. You can come back and give the game another try and have a lot of fun. Being a powerful character that's just a little less frustrating to fight against. And we do think the whole cast
Fair
is still
updates.
pretty powerful, especially those characters that didn't get changes. They're all very strong characters, and I think
Yeah, they're gonna
find
post it
they
somewhere,
feel
right? Probably
stronger
on
now because some of
the
those
Killing Instinct
most,
forum.
Difficult characters to fight are definitely
Well, they will tweet it.
toned down a bit.
Yeah, I imagine the power level of those characters feels much more reasonable now, for sure.
Yeah.
And so like if you're like, oh man, I didn't get any
Jago
changes
definitely
on,
top 5.
like I don't know, Sailwolf or something, but like now Aghanos is a little weaker, and then obviously like Rash. a little
Fulgor is
Ahri
weaker,
over
Rash
there.
is
It's like, wait a minute,
weaker.
this feels I can actually play the video game now against them, right? So
Exactly.
Orchid.
So Steve, what changes
Orchid
are you
and
most
Jago?
looking forward to testing
Siblings,
out on your
top
stream
5?
for this?
How
about Wolf?
Funny, I
Wolf
don't know if
didn't
it's,
get
like, a
any
change
changes,
necessarily,
so-
but I'm actually really interested in trying Eagle.
That
Yeah.
might be
He looks way
a
more
plus,
of a
right?
character that I
Since
would like to play.
other
And
characters
since
got
I played
adjusted,
Fulgor
so
for a long
let's see.
time, I
Let's see
really
how
like
it
those
goes.
Cancels. When you did like shallow blade dash into laser, I was
Yeah.
like, okay, I
It's
can.
like
I
playing
can
Morgan
vibe with that.
Fireball loops. It's
Yeah,
pretty-
it's a soul. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
I saw that. I was like, okay, I can mess with that. That looks really
Yeah.
fun.
Full screen
I'm super
confirms.
down.
Well, with the
Well,
YOLO
like we told
slide,
you guys at the
definitely,
top
right?
of the show, Steve has access to this build, and he's going to be going live on his stream right when we shut down this stream. He's going to be able to test some stuff out in the training mode and show you guys, hopefully, a better frame rate than I've been able to broadcast. So right
Yeah,
when the stream
definitely.
ends, the after party's going on twitch.tv/Sajam. If you want to see
God.
more of this build and explore it with him, head over. I might even show up and play some matches against him. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, and that's it. Steve, thank you so much for coming and helping out with this. Let's bring James back on and do some closing information. James.
Closing
back.
information. Let's go. Trailer.
I'm so glad I was off camera that whole time. And I was like, I don't know how you do it, Adam. I don't know how you play two things at once and show everything so seamlessly. But I was also
I
watching
made so
the
many
chat.
mistakes. I feel so embarrassed.
Oh man, well at least you didn't.
They
start
didn't
with
say
it.
Wumeister.
A few
No
seconds.
date yet.
But hey,
The
I
stay
also been
tuned. They
watching
give
the
us
chat,
the
and I
stay
have to
tuned
say
answer.
that, I want to answer every single thing, but when there's this many thousands of people in there, it's just impossible. So this gave me a chance to slow down a bit for the end here. So let's talk about let's
The
just
win.
recap a few things. I want everybody to remember that at the beginning of the show, we talked about the fact that we're consolidating the editions from the many down to just, oh, here we go. KI base game and anniversary edition. This will be on all three platforms. Steam is getting free to play. Existing owners of Steam get an automatic free upgrade to this. Anybody who owned KI Supreme Edition or KI Definitive Edition digitally, you automatically get an upgrade to this. And anybody who
Right.
had any a la carte content, if you had just like one season, if you had a couple characters, don't worry, all that stuff is still unlocked in Anniversary Edition. You don't need to do anything. The only thing that we're doing that you need to remember is that we are retiring all of those previous editions in the a la carte option. So you only have these two options when you're done. So that means if you ever want to buy just one more character, or if you thought, you know, hey, I really want the KI Classics, you should go get Definitive Edition, or you could just buy one character right now. Or if you have Game Pass, you don't need to do anything. We're just going to replace the existing KI and Game Pass with this upgraded Anniversary Edition. So, you know, we're just trying to make this.
This information was confusing at the beginning. Like they they chose to start with
Black
this
Friday
information,
sale,
and like,
so
ooh,
I think I saw
what the
that
hell?
KI Definitive Edition is about $13-ish.
Yeah, it's
on
$13,
all
right?
platforms. So,
Whoa.
yeah, it's a great time to buy it, and you don't lose by doing that. I mean, you're going to get
Yep.
holiday
$13
accessories
will
if
get you
already
the
have them, then
anniversary
discount
edition, and you
You
also
got
get
friends and
the
people in
Christmas
FGC who've been wanting to
the
give it a
Christmas
try.
outfits from
Have to
season
get
one.
that version quick.
Yeah, totally. And I also mentioned earlier that the free to play base game is much nicer now that it's all of the whole cast rotating every week. So again, if you have any friends who have been on the fence or just wasn't sure, just hey, once this comes out, they get to check out.
They didn't
a
say anything
character
about
each
the
week,
new
and,
merch,
you get to
right?
play all modes
Keats
in
was
there.
wearing like some
And that's the other thing that we do.
new
It's a little different.
Con
We just go
Ra
ranked,
outfit.
Shadow Lords, single player, whatever you want to do, you know, go for it. And oh, you may not know this one. Here's some secret sauce. If you play Shadow Lords in free to play mode, you actually get Jago unlocked permanently by simply completing the tutorial.
Right?
And then
He
you can
just
take
got
Okay,
bugged.
that's good.
the lab. Take him into Shadow Lab, make a Shadow AI with a
Color
with a free
11s?
Jago. And if you get halfway through
No,
the
it's
progression in Shadow
merch
Lords,
as
you
in
get a free Orchid. So that's not
new merchandise
we
for
really
KI.
made that common knowledge. I mean, I think we hyped it up back in 2016 when we launched the thing.
Yeah.
So that's the recap on a la carte and the modes. Let's
Right.
talk about
Matchmaking.
86. Our friends at 86.
Oh, new shirts.
They're doing their Black Friday event right now. I just looked their countdown. I think there's 4 days left. They've brought back some of the shirts that were
Okay.
previously
Right.
gone.
The old
like,
ones.
Riptor and Cinder, they sold out of. They've brought that back. They've done a refreshed design on Thunder, and they've also refreshed the design on Glacius. And check this out.
Where's the
I'm
Orchid
a
shirt?
beast now. It's great. They fixed me up. So
Wait,
I
show
love
it.
this shirt. It's blue. I'm all into blue. So, and there's one last thing.
One last thing.
86 also has something new for you that just went live during the stream.
Wait, Jago shirts? Oh my God,
Finally
Venino.
have a Jago shirt. It's taken a while, but boy, I love this design.
Where's the
Can't
Orchid
get my
shirt?
hands on it.
Yeah, come on.
And so yeah, that's it from the
No Orchid
merch
love.
hype department.
Boo.
All right, everybody. That concludes our show. The patch notes should be online very shortly, if not right now. So check the link in the chat or on our social media when that comes up. A big special thanks to Sajam for helping today, and to the entire secret NDA test group for helping us make this update as good as possible. They were truly wonderful to work with, and they got to experience,
Okay.
you know,
Well, some
daily
good feedback
iteration
from the
builds,
group that
which
helped
was
them,
really
right?
cool
I
for
mean,
them as well.
it
was
truly
really fun
made
to
the
work
game
with
more
them.
balanced. So
The
I'm
teams
happy
at
with
Xbox
that.
and Iron Galaxy sincerely hope you all enjoy exploring this new version of Killer Instinct. We
When?
want you to post your feedback and videos with the hashtag PlayKI wherever you post. And if you did a live reaction restream, toss us that link so we can check it out. We'll be watching all
okay.
the awesome stuff you discover and matches you play. And be
stuff.
sure to join that after party stream on Sage.
Shout out to Keats, please. Shout out.
Right after
So
this.
some emojis in the chat.
After the new version comes out, go play. Tell us what
I'll
you think.
repost it.
Give it a little time. We're really looking forward to hearing your feedback, and we'll be following it closely in case any additional adjustments to the game balance are needed.
Right. Oh,
Okay,
so
thanks
this is
for
a
logging
promise,
together.
right?
Thanks for
This is
being
a
with us
promise
today.
that if there are any
That's
other
it.
broken
That's
stuff
the show. One
that
more thing.
being discovered,
As soon as we
It will be
know the
fixed.
release date, because we're in
Yes.
final testing right now,
final
we will
testing.
follow up. We'll hit you on social, and we will make sure you know. It's soon.
Yes.
It's soon. Stay tuned.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. We'll see you on Sage Jam's stream. Bye.
Oh, nice music. Nice closing out music. It reminds me of my own ending music of my stream. All right, first thoughts, guys, on all the changes, the buffs, the nerfs, the walk speed, the Jago DP buff. Overall, I'm very happy. Very happy with the conscious decisions that they made to make it more fair, right? To make it more balanced. Very happy with the Orchid changes, so can't wait to explore those. Yeah, the DP with Jago sounds a bit too much. Like they're maybe pushing too hard to make Jago top tier. Right. Broom. Oh, they're moving to a Sajam stream, so we're cutting off this one. Alright.
Hello, gamers.
Sajam. Where's
What up, 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 what up?
my stream for this one? I don't even know.
How goes it? Hey, everybody. Hopefully you enjoyed the stream. Here's what I'm going to do.
Here's what I'm
I
gonna do.
am going to pee. And then I will take any questions you have about the build, anything you want me to test, anything you want me to look at, anything like that. You let me know what's good.
Right,
and I'll
right,
go
right.
test it. Killer. Let
Okay.
me boot up.
Well,
Yo,
YOLO
okay.
Slide, definitely a nice addition.
We're back. Give me
I like
like
it.
30 seconds, gamers.
So, okay. I'm just wondering when the patch will come out. It's probably, hopefully, within 2 weeks. I mean, if they're like in final testing phase, or usually like maybe they work in sprints, or they're like running sprints, or maybe things take like 2 weeks. Like testing usually takes max like a week. So hopefully after a week they decide, okay, we're ready to go. We can finally push this out. So that would be, yeah, maybe beginning December, right? For the balance patch to be released. So like I said, we're definitely going to explore it. We're going to, try to see where we can have more fancy stuff with Orchids, Ultra. Not Ultra, but also the juggles in Instinct, the crazy stuff, YOLO Slide, everything. Yeah, Icewater's happy with the Kim Woo changes. All right, I'm going to end the stream. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining me and watching this stream. Appreciate it. Hope you guys liked it. I'll be back later with some KI. Have a very good Wednesday, and I'll see you guys later. My name is Kevin Life. This is SmackDown Hotel. Later, all.
Hello. Okay.
Bye.
What up, Snow?
See you next
So, what
time.
did we test first?